All right, so do you want me to talk about the baby at the start of the podcast?
What baby? So
the baby you're probably going to hear in the background while we're recording this.
So this is the son of your girlfriend, right?
No. This is the daughter of my brother's girlfriend. And they're visiting today. And
doesn't your brother have like many girlfriends? Like, is this the same
girlfriend?
Whoa.
Whoa. Don't say that. Yeah, well, okay. No, this is like his... This is like... he might be listening. You don't know.
Probably not.
He could be. I sometimes get kind of paranoid about that. Well, not paranoid, but I wonder. Because they all know what I do. They know what my channel is. And I wonder, like... Because I'm an adult. You know, I take things into my own hand. But I wonder if people, like, check up on my channel. They're like, oh, has he been working hard?
I worry
No one's
about
ever
that
mentioned it.
Yeah, I worry about that sometimes. I'm like... Because, you know, people know me as a different person. They know... Not to say I'm different out there.
Church-going Matt.
Like, all right, like, for instance, church. Yeah, like...
Yeah.
I'm helping out, like, because that's what I do. I help out with the computers and the projection and all that type of stuff. So I'm very structured. I like to do things properly. I get things done. That's who I am. So I'm constantly running around. I'm not socializing or anything like that. So people know me as this tech guy that just runs around all over the place.
This antisocial dude.
Yeah, and I mean I do socialize, and they said, oh, what do you do, whatever, and it comes out, and you know my wife might say it or something like that, and I'm like
it's some secret in the closet.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm a little bit weirded out. I'm like, what if they go and watch it and they see something they don't like, and they're like, oh, Matt is, you know, this such and such and such, and I'm like, man, you don't forget this. Like, I really care about what they think. That's what
is this one of the reasons why you don't really like profanity on the channel that much?
No,
some very pious person might come on.
No, that's just because that's just me.
Because it's rude to swear, and you're a decent human being. Is that the answer?
Well, I just believe that there's you know, better vocabulary than just cursing all the time.
You know, some people say that. I think it is a defunct argument, I believe. But some people do say that the only reason an individual might swear is because they don't have the mental fortitude to conjure an appropriate word.
I mean, that doesn't apply to everyone. But
this is why the F word, the F word you can use for so much stuff. You can use it if you just stubbed your toe. You can use it if I just did a backflip with a basketball between my feet, and then I dunk it as I do a backflip on a trampoline. And you can use the same word there. You can use the same word in the bedroom. You can use it in all these different places. And it's because it's just like one of these filler words. It works for anything.
And also, you know, when people come from other countries, which a lot of people listen to this podcast, are from other places. When you're learning English, what do you learn? You learn those dang curse words first. I'm telling you, dude. Pretty much every single person who is learning English, they just curse like a sailor. I'm like, dude, those are not the words you should be using.
Yeah, and someone had to teach him. I tell you what, when I was quite a young kid, so when I was like year 5 or maybe even year 4 at school, so that would put me at like maybe 9 or 10, some girl from, I want to say South Africa, but it was probably not South Africa, but some girl from somewhere on Africa, okay, came to our school, and she barely spoke a lick of English. I could also tell you she seemed like she was maybe 16 years old. She was way older than anyone else in our class. She was like, you know, she had clearly, we'll just put it this way, she'd gone through puberty, right? She was much taller than the rest of us.
Okay.
So, but she was very naive, and she didn't know much of the language. And I remember sort of been forced to go on like a play date-ish style thing, you know, because of parents or whatever. And I had to like take her into town. Not for like a night out on the town, but just sort of show her where it was.
Oh,
and I remember...
Snap, some dark meat.
Oh, wow, dude. But I feel really bad about this. Because I sort of... I was never a bully. Let me just state that. I was never a bully. And I find it really interesting that in the adult world, a lot of people you know were probably bullies. And they just won't admit it. But anyway, I sort of was a bit cruel to her. And I remember teaching her all these words, these rude words. And saying, oh no, this is how you speak. And finding it hilarious when she would go very innocently up to adults and say disgraceful things as, you know, greetings.
Wow, you're a terrible
I know, I feel really bad. Person. But also, a big part of me is like, well, hold on, she's actually a lot older than I'm sure she was just like thrown back a few years or whatever, because where she had originally come from, she didn't really have much of a formal education or whatever, so they sort of sent her back a bit. Anyway, I only knew her for a few months.
Are you trying to say people in Africa are uneducated?
Yes.
Whoa.
In some places. In some places. There is
It's not what you see on TV, bro. It's not just random random tribes walking around topless.
In some areas of Africa, it is
swinging down on the floor. Okay?
Well, Africa's a whole continent, of course, and there are some places that are much better than others. I was watching a TED talk where this guy was
just like
going
Miami
on about
or New York, though. There's places that are just like Miami and New York. Like, they're the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
pretty
agree.
sure we have hick places where people live in trailer parks or in the woods and stuff.
Sure, but you can't say that anywhere in the States. Even though there's a lot of variance, you can't say somewhere in the States is third world. There are demonstrably third world places in Africa. I was looking at this thing, right? There's an actual index called like the Where to Live Index, and you can look at it and it shows you like where in the world the best places are. Like, it's like the lottery of where you're born. So if you are born here, you are very likely to have a very good life, an educated life, a wealthy life, a life of want, right? If you are born here, you are likely to be stuck in poverty and never get away. And it's really, really interesting. And, you know, it's not racist. It's a fact that a lot of countries in Africa, poverty-ridden countries, unfortunately, are like, yeah, you're born here, you're kind of screwed, bro. So, anyway, I think she didn't have a great place that she came from. And I was the terrible human being that taught her how to swear at strangers. And I feel bad about that.
You're continuing.
If you're out there
virus.
listening, I can't even remember her name anymore, but if you're out there listening, what? Don't say that. I was a kid. How many kids do you remember growing up?
I remember Sammy. I remember Billy. I remember Tommy. I remember Sally.
They all ended Sally? In Y. This is pretty interesting. And you were Matty, right?
What is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood Podcast, episode number 43. I got it right this time, and I'm here with the beautiful, elegant wooden potato.
How much preamble are you going to cut there? Hey, by the way, yeah, I'm here.
I'm probably going to leave all that in.
That's the latest intro we've ever done, then. That's a that's a lot of preamble before the intro comes in.
People are like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, in the first time they're clicking on a VisualWood Podcast, and they're like, what is this podcast about? I don't know either.
Earlier today, I literally recorded a Final Fantasy X video that has almost 15 minutes of preamble. Almost 15 minutes of nothing but me sat on the screen and telling people what's happened. Dude, do you know why it is, though? It's because I was telling them all about my notepad file going missing and stuff.
It's funny because I was listening to the first episode yesterday, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna shut up now, and you guys are gonna watch the movie," and you start talking to the damn movie, and I'm like, "Shut up!"
Well, there's no dialogue there.
I gave you weren't gonna talk. No, I'm just saying.
I gave the viewers a good 60 seconds or so of silence. All right, that's difficult. Okay, that's difficult. And then I just had to start talking about stuff because I was watching it and I was like, "Oh, the faces, yeah, these were redone for HD and people don't like them."
I had to put money on it. Yeah, when I saw his face, I was like, "What the hell is that?"
I know he
looks like
really
he had
creepy.
Botox. Look at that. So, everyone, go to his videos, Final Fantasy X video, the first one, and watch the Titus or Titus face in the beginning cutscene. It looks like he has Botox or he got plastic surgery or something.
You know, you can get used to the new look, like with the weird eyes and stuff. You can get used to it after a while, and yeah, it sucks at the beginning. But the worst thing about that is when they redid these, and I haven't mentioned this on the LP yet, when they redid everyone's face, they like there were all these original animations in the game, and now because they redid the face, those animations are like much more secluded and harder to see, so they basically look like lifeless dolls staring with no emotion forever. And there's like a crazy scene towards the end of the game where one of the characters, who typically has never really been angry and, you know, never stood up and stuff like this.
Oh, no.
They get really angry. And in the original version, it's so good. You know, you see the eyebrows going and you see all this stuff. And in this version of the game, all the same voice acting's there, but their face is just, I am very angry right now. And it's not moved. And I'm like,
no.
They killed it.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that, though?
Well, they tried to make it look better because it's all like, I guess they were just like, look, the textures look rubbish if we upscale it, so let's redo the faces. But then they botched it. They redid the faces and didn't look at all the bits where they were animated. And so for 2 of the characters in particular in the game, they look so much worse now. It sucks. The sequel, they didn't do that. Thankfully, in the sequel, they were too lazy to even redo the faces, and so we're saved from their botched job because they were so lazy.
Amazing.
So it comes full circle in the sequel, and we're okay again. But yeah, it's overall a good experience, man. I'm so happy that it's getting uploaded. Been talking about it on the podcast over the past few weeks.
Yeah,
there it is. Go watch it.
That's hard work. That's how a Let's Player is supposed to do videos, in my opinion.
Wait, so what's happening with our Let's Play? What did we do for that one? With the Raven and with a new one that's coming out very soon.
Yo,
we did all this research,
I'm a little
right?
skeptical about that and how that's going to be received. But anyways.
Yeah.
iTunes reviews.
Okay,
we have to
cool.
do 2 this time because we missed it last time again.
Look, I don't know what you want from me.
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
What are we going to do on the embarrassing day when there are no new reviews? Like, let's talk about that for a second.
We stop the podcast, maybe? No? Maybe?
Okay. Well, look, I will sort by most recent here.
You could pick an old one. Pick an old one, too.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the most recent review is from Coral Ann, who says, funny and enjoyable podcast. That is a must-have for any GW2 player, film lover, or general podcast enthusiast. Are you a podcast enthusiast? Let me ask you before I continue to read this.
I kind of am. I listen to a few podcasts. I listen to the GW2 podcast.
What?
Because my
is
friend
that
Super
business?
Bunny is on there. It's that video gamer. It's the completionist is I guess website that he made.
Okay.
And Satch Bag, which is another guy I really, really like.
You told me in a previous one of our podcasts that you were listening to like business.
Yeah,
podcasts?
that too. I haven't listened to it in a while because I haven't had time. Like it's a little bit lower on the podcast list. Usually I listen to Co-optional and the GW2, right? Like I listen to it during stuff every week, slowly, because there's no way I can sit down and watch like a whole full podcast or listen to it even. But yeah, like that's all I had time for is those 2. But yeah, there's so many podcasts I need to catch up on. The CADcast, I used to listen to that religiously for quite a while, almost years, and then I kind of stopped as well. But yeah,
I think podcasts are great if you do a lot of traveling. The one thing I kind of want to do with podcasts, and I did this a little bit when I was listening to the Ricky Gervais one, is how like years ago, before people were bombarded by the internet and all kinds of media and stuff, and maybe they only had a music player, a record player, they would just have this really like cathartic, I think that's the correct word, experience where they just turn off the lights, close the curtains, completely seclude themselves from the world, and just play the music. And every element of their being is just listening to the music, the beat of it, whatever. And, people would get really passionate about music. That's something I've never done much, and I think I've missed out on. And I wonder whether you can do that with podcasts. I'm asking you guys listening right now. Go lay on your bed, guys. Turn it all off. Block everything out. Listen to the sound.
You never lay down on the bed and listen to music or the podcast. I've done that with podcasts as well. I haven't done it recently. Maybe not even within a year. But I've used to done that. When I actually had time for myself, I used to do that.
Wow. It's almost like you've lost your soul at this point.
Well, no. It's just that, when you're trying to run 20 things at the same time and you got some IRL stuff, I mean, you have a wife and all that. Oof.
A good opportunity to do that.
Huh?
You could do that when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, dude. But I play my 3DS in the bathroom, dude.
Oh, what is this? Can't you just have some time for yourself? Some time to meditate?
No,
sit back
there's
and
no
look
time.
around?
There's no time to breathe.
Do you have the bath?
Oh, do I? Ooh, you mean like have a bathtub and I sit in it and just chill and stuff?
Yeah. Maybe a candle.
I've never had a
ducky.
tub like that.
That's weird. I recently got a shower and I have not bathed for months and months and months of my life. It feels kind of now, gloopy.
Yeah, I
would be the
usually
word I'd use.
shower all the time. I don't take baths. Sit in there and just chill and light a candle and put some Kenny G on. I remember my mom used to play that all the time. I still want to wish, like, it's always weird. Like, it's like when your parents listen to something that's like out of the ordinary. Like, where did you even hear this from? Like, where
did you ever ask? You could
no,
probably
I
still
haven't.
ask.
I haven't. I should ask her. Like,
Do you know what? Do you know what a great audio adventure would be one day? You having like a call to catch up with your mum. I'm sure you wouldn't want her on the podcast, but how good would that be? You're like, hey,
weird.
Mom, do you remember that song you used to listen to? And she'd be like, oh yeah, I remember. That's my impression of your mum's voice. That'd be so good, right?
Speaking of audio adventures,
wait. We haven't finished the reviews.
Oh!
I got halfway through a review and then finished.
Wow!
They said always listen to this when doing chores around the house. Turns what would otherwise be a very boring couple of hours into something I look forward to. That's a legit review. Thank you very much to Coral for that. Another review I thought was reasonably interestingly worded is from Ice Squid Sam, who says this is the shizzle. He says, I love this podcast. I never knew that a potato could be so beautiful and is so passionate and have endless knowledge about Guild Wars 2. Amazing. My homie Matt's voice makes the podcast one of a kind and makes me warm. And his streams are equally as good. Best podcast ever. Don't stop making them. Ice Squid. So there you go.
I'm like the guy on the side. I'm like what am I, like the mayonnaise or am I like the bread? Am I the
your
middle?
Podcast makes you warm. Makes him warm.
Do I glue everything together? Are you like the hard wood chips and I glue you together to make the frame? Is that what I am?
What are we a frame of though?
A frame
a model
of a
citizen. Of a what? A bed? Wow. Okay.
Our podcast is called VisualWood. Anyways, is that the end of that review?
That is. There's a particularly rude one. Maybe we'll get to when we're desperate. But leave more, guys. Come on, reviews. We'll leave them and make them funny as well. All right, here we go. You ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
This
might be a hard one.
Oh my God. I gave you an easy one last week.
Yeah, so I brought it this week.
You brought your A game.
I brought it because last time it was way too easy for you.
What do you mean? That wasn't easy. I was just smart about it. Do you think I'll get this? Yeah, do you think I'll get this?
You could get it. This is something I do every time. Oh no, let me not give you clues. Go ahead.
No. We should always have one clue.
One clue?
And it should be like how often we do it. Because it's not always every day, is it?
It's part of the YouTube process, the video making process.
Okay, I've got some ideas. Here we go. Okay, alright. It's a tricky one.
Uh-huh.
It's a tricky one. How many guesses do I get?
It's usually 3, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright.
We're always very light with that, but yeah.
Alright, so it sounds like, this isn't my guess, but here's my thought process. It sounds like you're messing around in some kind of tray. Perhaps like looking for some kind of tool, or you're rustling with something metallic. Would I be correct in saying that?
Metallic? Yes.
Okay. So there's a couple of things I know about you and your recording setup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say this has got something to do with when you record something live action for a video.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is you're using your camera to actually film yourself. And I'm not saying, that's not my guess, but I'm saying...
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something to do with that. It's not a video. It's not like a podcast. You didn't do this before recording this with me. You won't have done this before we record anything else. It's something like the WildStar review. Very good review. It's up on Matt Visual. So here's what I think. I think this is you either setting them up right now or preparing to set up your lights. No? Damn it. Okay. Because you said you've got, like, big lights, right?
Yeah.
That you shine to get a uniform thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe it's got something... I mean... So the other suggestion maybe would have something to do with the camera, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's you setting up... 3 guesses isn't very good. All right, here we go. The tripod for the camera.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes! Yeah, baby. Do you know what gave it away? There's a point near the end where there's like a slide sound. I don't know whether that's you sliding the bit out of the tripod, is it?
Yeah, it was the thing. I was closing it. I was putting it away.
Oh, you're putting it away.
So it was hard, but it wasn't too hard there.
That was a really good one.
Yeah. That's why I thought. I was like, ooh, I always forgot the audio adventure. I was like, oh, what would be a good one? Like something that's, I don't want to making it too hard. It's just kind of like not fun. So like I was like, all right, the tripod would be perfect because that's something that I do and everything. So yeah. So I got a new tripod and it's a pretty decent one, like a professional one with a fluid head, so I can actually do the pans and stuff like that. I'm getting it for like. Because I'm thinking about doing some other stuff, like the healthy gamer stuff and stuff like that, and being able to pan through the food and make it all, nice and cinematic and get all close and see the peanut butter just drip off. Well, almond butter.
Wow.
In my case.
Do you want to give a little plug to the people who you bought it from? Like, what's the brand?
Amazon.
Oh, really? It's just like Amazon's own.
Dude,
I got it from someone else.
No. It's the I don't know what it is. Is the Magnus VT4000.
Would you recommend it for me?
It's been pretty good. It's very heavy and I don't know. It's rugged. And my old tripod was like a $20 tripod, which I use for my webcam now for the streams. And that's why I wanted to get a new one, but I wanted to get something really professional so I can actually have better shots and stuff like that. Because I want to start adding more value. But this one is a full metal, and it stays still. You can put some weights on it for it to not fall over if someone bumps into it. Not that I'm gonna have that problem or anything like that. And yeah, man, yeah, it's a good tripod. Definitely a good tripod.
See, I've got a couple of old tripods, like old tripods. I'm talking about tripods from like the 70s or whatever, that just members of the family of, they've just ended up in my possession over time. And I wonder, like, I've obviously got no need for a tripod right now, but I wonder if I ever got to that point whether I should invest in a new one. They're sturdy things. It's just, I don't know whether, they would really be up to the standard of what I need, or whether they'd even connect to any modern camera should I ever get the money to go and get one,
Yeah.
So they're just sort of sat there, and maybe, I don't know, I'll spend the money sometime. What are you going to be using a lot of pans for and stuff? Because it's not for like, when you're in front of the green screen, right? This would be for other stuff.
No. It's for everything. This is for everything. Yeah? It's a better upgrade for tons of reasons. When you get a cheap tripod, people who are into videography, you know what I'm talking about. Like it's a plastic tripod that constantly moves and it's not really sturdy. When you get something like this, which is not even that expensive, it's like an entry-level professional fluid head tripod, and it stays completely still. It's stuck to the ground. You can actually there's like for instance stuff like when you're outside, you can screw in, or I guess you kind of twist it, and these legs come out that will stick into the ground. There's also little feet for it. Yeah, little knife, little like things that you could poke through the ground.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
And then there's a level as well, so you can see if your camera's not balanced properly.
Oh, that's also awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes, like for instance, when I was helping Super Bunny Hop record a video, I mentioned him like literally every podcast. That's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, we never talk about him until the podcast comes on. Are you kind of concerned he listens? And
Yeah, and he's like a little bit weirded out. I was like, why is this guy talking about? But like when he
only has
comes
pictures
up
of
for
you
some
all
reason.
over
I watched the E3 with him. Blah, 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 blah. I guess that's just the way it is. But I
feeling a little replaced right now.
His building is not leveled properly, so that would help with that as well. You know, so situations
that's pretty
like
bad.
that.
Just your whole house is just on an angle.
No, it's a full building. It's a full condo.
Wow.
Condo building. So yeah. But yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but I mean, people are not gonna understand. No one cares about being able to lock positions and being able to, you know, not move the camera up because you have it locked or.
Whoa! You can lock positions.
Calm down.
Dude.
Oh, but I also see.
Oh, yeah.
I have other friends. I had a birthday party.
We didn't talk about this. I barely congratulated you on another year of life.
You know,
I gave you a rubbish little tweet.
I'm used to your cold shoulders. I'm used to that.
Dude, you didn't even remember my birthday, so I think it's pretty easy for me to be off the hook.
But you don't say it though. You don't say happy birthday or whatever in Twitter.
Just because birthdays are stupid and no one should care about them.
Well, I didn't even know how Guild Wars 2 even knew it was my birthday. I didn't even know.
Yeah, what is that? How did they know?
I don't know. I didn't say anything because I'm not one for like, oh, it's my birthday, guys. Please shower me with your love. You know, I'm not like that. So it was weird. I was just like, how the heck did they know my birthday? I guess because I flew out there and, you know, it was on my contact info and stuff like that. And maybe. Yeah. So
what happens if I Google Matt Visual's birthday? Maybe someone at ArenaNet Googled that.
I don't know. I mean,
okay, apparently it won't come up. Mr. Matt's 30th birthday set at Elements. Some guy on Facebook. Yeah, sure.
Amazing.
It must have been on the contact info.
People taking my name, man. I want my real name on Twitter. But yeah, I played. Well, my wife surprised me, and 2 friends came over. I don't really have many friends. I don't really have many friends because. I don't know. Like I'm not really one for
who needs them, right?
Acquaintances. Like, you know, like it's small talk and all that. We have nothing in common. I'm not one for keeping people around like that. You know, I know them. I know many people, but do I call them friends? It's a little bit weird, right?
You don't like to
sound
keep people
antisocial,
around,
but not antisocial. I'm using that word wrong. Somebody was telling me that I was using antisocial wrong, and it's something else. Antisocial is like something totally different than what we think it means.
Dude, don't pay attention to that guy. People know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyways, we played basically Power Stone 2 the whole day. After eating bun and cheese. Oh, the bun and cheese is so good. Oh, the bun and cheese. If you guys haven't tasted bun and cheese, all right, go to a Jamaican store, a local Jamaican store. Get ask for bun and cheese, and it's gonna be expensive. All right, so what is bun and cheese? It's like a spice bun, bread, kind of what they make, and you can slice it. You can slice this, and you can get the Jamaican cheese. It's drastically different from what you're used to, and you put it in between it, and it's a salty, sweet because the cheese is kind of salty, sweet mix, and it's probably one of the best sandwiches.
Do you just eat it straight up, or do you make that bread or that bun into a sandwich of some kind?
Yeah, you can slice the bread, put the cheese inside, and fold it.
Oh, okay. All right, I see.
Yeah.
Do you butter it at all?
No. No need for anything else other than that.
But if you were a little piggy, would you like to butter it? Would it taste good?
But see, the spice bread is so moist already, you don't need it.
Oh, okay.
It's moist. It doesn't make your mouth dry. It's just
Is this like a favorite of yours that you got because it was your birthday?
Yeah, he knows I like my my spice bun.
Was this like a cheat day for you?
Yeah, it was.
Dude, I'm thinking of, you know how, what did I do? I told you I had pizza. Why did I tell you I had pizza during the week?
You always have pizza.
Yeah, no, did you know what I was thinking of, right? I'm thinking of maybe doing a food log and just showing you what I eat after a week.
Dude, we should totally do stuff like that.
Do you want to do a food log, and I'll give you,
You have
one
to show your face,
on
though.
the next podcast? I'll give you my food log of what I've eaten this week. Oh, that might look really bad because I know I eat too much. Did you see that I burnt my hand yesterday really badly?
What? No.
It was the middle of the night, and I got some pancakes out that had like little white chocolate chips in them, and as I pulled them out of the toaster, I like just grabbed it because I knew it was going to be hot, so I wanted to grab it and quickly put it on the plate. But my like fingers went like right into all the melted white chocolate, and they just like it was horrible. It was really, really painful.
So you could like you know when you touch something and you let go and the pain goes away a little bit. No, you dipped your hands into melting lava. Oh my God.
Do you know what's really bad? When I was a kid, I put. Do you know what Haribo is?
No.
Okay, so like candy, but like clear candy, like gummy candy, I guess, right? So it's kind of like gummy and like jelly-ish stuff. Yeah, stuff like that, but not. Yeah, all right, gummy bears would be fun. Anyway, I grabbed a big bowl of this and I put it in the microwave because as a kid, I'm like, what happens if I cook this? What happens? Didn't have my parents' permission, of course, and pulled the bowl out. Basically, forgot about it. It caught on fire. At which point, my friend was there as well. At which point, when the blame was being levied, I think I blamed my younger brother in front of my friend, and he realized what a deceitful, horrible person I was. But then, like, there was this big bowl of stuff, and like that stuff, when you just said molten lava, it like melts into this goo, but it's boiling hot. Like it was hot enough to catch fire. Boiling hot goo, and if you like, I swear you could kill someone with that. You could seriously damage someone. Scar them for life by like splashing that stuff on someone's face because it's so sticky and heavy and thick and syrupy, but boiling hot, it's game over. So yeah, very dangerous.
It reminds me of my wife's friend. She hates syrup, and she hates heat and syrup in the same place. Like she can't. Syrup doesn't need to be everywhere. Like when she's having pancakes, it needs to be like on the pancakes only. Not all over the place. It can't reach her hands, nothing. And I always mess with her of like, on a hot summer day, I'm just going to pour syrup on her. And she's just going to... And she went nuts. She was like, no! And she's like cringing. And I was just, it's funny.
This sounds like the start of a rather adult movie, Matt. Hot summer day.
Anyways.
We met up to play with some syrup. Yeah.
Anyways,
happy
let's get
birthday.
back on track here.
Yeah, I do sincerely. I mean, a happy birthday, man. How old are you now?
I'm 25.
You're 25 now. Any regrets?
Look. I think regrets are bad because things that happen makes you who you are now. You know not to make mistakes. You know, for to do this properly or whatever you did, in the past. But what I would like is to take a time machine and go back in time, know what I know now, and just do everything differently.
Do you believe that a life lived without regrets is a life well lived?
Yeah, I think so.
See, well, I totally believe that. I don't think you can really dispute that. So every year, I think when you get another birthday, you should always reminisce on the things you truly regret about your life and try to have that different the next year. And if you did that every year of your life, you're gonna be happy, right? Eventually. I mean, obviously, it's one thing to think about it, and the other to actively change something. But I think that's a really healthy way of going about existing on Earth.
I like to think like every year,
tip.
I tend to stop and just think to myself, I'm like, have I progressed in my life? Am I still in the same spot? Because I'm not a mindless drone. I don't want to be. I don't want to be this guy who, goes
to the pub every Friday, goes to work every Monday.
Just do the same thing every day, regardless of what it is, and just like follow this routine and just never move up, or not move up, but move forward. Has nothing to do with like money or anything like that. Just moving forward with my life, learning new things, stuff like that. And I think I've done pretty good the past couple of years, with IRL stuff, and even the channel is pretty decent, So yeah.
All right, well, here's to another birthday.
All right.
Hopefully there won't be some horrible accident. Hopefully, I think I caught you saying earlier, I think I caught you saying earlier on the podcast you like to cast people aside. Should I be a little bit worried there?
What do you mean? I never
You
said
said I'm
that.
not antisocial. I don't have to. I just like to cast people aside.
Dude.
Should I be a little bit worried here?
No, what the hell? No, I mean, like, I'm talking about, like,
I'm a little scared
random
now.
people that I meet because of, I don't know, work stuff that I've done, other than the channel work, and nothing in common. You make the short talk. Like, I'm not talking about those are people. Those are like nothing in common, stuff like that. I know them, but they're not like my friends. Like, we don't hang out. There's a difference.
I can't believe
between
you
that.
would cast people aside if you have nothing in common with them. Like, that's so mean of you.
I don't cast them aside. I just don't. I wouldn't invite
Dude,
them
I
to my
cast people
birthday
aside.
party. Is what I'm saying.
Dude,
I
if
want
I
to
have
say,
nothing in common
hey,
with someone,
person I barely know and barely talk to, come over to my birthday party. Make it awkward for me.
oh, have you ever read those stories? And people have a lot of them about like when there's a kid whose like mum sets them up a birthday party, and then nobody comes, or even worse, like when it's late in high school and they set up one for themselves. Then maybe they're not popular. Their parents have misguidedly told them, "Hey, all you got to do is have a big birthday, Timmy, and everybody will come." And then they set it up, and like one guy comes. There's all these horrible stories about that happening.
Ooh.
There's even horrible stories where nobody goes to the party, but you're the one guy that does go. So you're like sat there with this person you don't know, and you just got to see how much time is an appropriate amount of time before you can leave. And then you feel really bad because everyone, like all the aunts and aunties and stuff are there, and they're like, "Oh, this must be this guy's best friend," and you just don't know them at all.
Like, for me, I don't want all these people. Like, I'm totally fine. Like, the two people my wife invited were two people that were my friends. They were definitely coming. They weren't like, oh, I may come. No, it's like, oh, Matt's having a birthday? Yeah, definitely I want to surprise him. I didn't know if I was having anything because I don't care much. It's like, I don't need a birthday party. It's not like me being like manly or anything like that. It's whatever.
I think you've got a bit of a loner vibe going on right now, and it's getting people pretty interested. Everyone likes a loner. I don't need it.
I just focus on things. And my friends know that. I spend time with them all the time, but not all the time, but like when we're both not busy, we spend time with each other just like we did on my birthday. The thing is, and man, we played Power Stone. Oh my gosh, it was pretty much the best time I've ever had on my birthday.
You've talked about Power Stone before on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I believe you have.
It's a game that me and my best friend have played like a lot of back in the day. So when he knew I had Power Stone, he just flipped out. He was like, dude, we got to play this. He didn't know I got it because I got the Dreamcast, but I didn't tell him that, like, oh, I burned a few games. Yeah, it's easy to like rip a few games from the internet for Dreamcast, sadly. That's why it failed. But and we just all sat on the couch. Everyone got a controller, and we just beat everyone to hell. Like it was one of the greatest, like so many funny moments, laugh out loud moments. See, you ever had a good time like that? Just like straight up old school, sitting on the couch having fun. I love that. I miss that. Everything's on the internet now. Not to be like all hipster or anything like that.
I'm wondering why you didn't monetize that. That was valuable.
Dude, I was thinking, I was like, man, I should have recorded how. Dude,
oh,
people would have
no,
loved
you
it.
can't go. I know they would have, but you've got to have time for yourself sometimes. You've got to have
it's
that
true.
personal
It's
life.
true. I shouldn't be
got
thinking
to.
about YouTube all the time. Yeah.
But I totally agree. I would have been in the same situation. In fact, I was over Christmas when we had a bunch of people over. We were playing some really cool stuff, and I was just thinking, this is really awesome. This is the kind of thing maybe you could record. But, you just got to throw it away straight away because you need that,
Yeah.
It can't all be, how can I make my free time earn me money? I mean, maybe it can, and those people
Not
are
necessarily
financially
money,
successful.
but just a good time. Really, like people would enjoy that. I mean, really, come on, really, do we really make money? We don't really make money.
Yeah.
It's more about like people enjoying it. Like, well, at least that's what I try to do. So
spread your happiness to everyone else.
Yeah, spread it out. And I just talk about how like I have like only a handful of friends that I really talk to on a daily basis.
My happiness is my own. No, that's a part of growing up, though. You get a smaller group of friends. You do. It's just the way it goes. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Maybe other people have different experiences.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. What would you do? My segues are so bad. Do you want to go on to
Movie Club?
Yeah, movie club. Oh boy, you tweeted something out last night.
Saying, why did you make me watch this movie? I know people are gonna. Oh, I'm gonna be that guy who just doesn't like it. You're probably gonna like it, and everyone else is probably gonna like it. But I'm gonna be like, I don't like it.
All right, talk to me about it.
All right. So I Frankenstein. All right. So this is a twist on the story. Dr. Frankenstein makes this human
The monster.
They brought this human back to life and strapped different pieces of different bodies to him. Even though he has scarring all over his body, it seems like his whole body is his to me. Even though he said that his body is like a bunch of different bodies put together, it really isn't. Tons of plot holes. Not plot holes, but there's times where it's just plot. They're just the writing is so bad. They're just talking just to deliver the plot, and it ends up just like kind of falling down hard to the ground. Oh my god! All right. So let me start from the story. So he makes. Is it spoilers to talk about what happened in like the very beginning of the movie?
No, please. Let's just talk about the movie.
It's a bad movie anyway. So who cares?
Yeah. So please,
all right.
please.
So Adam. I'm gonna call him Adam because that's what his name is called.
You just spoiled. Yeah. No.
Yeah. They eventually. This is like the first 20 minutes of the movie. Like the first 5 minutes of the movie, he murders. Dr. Frankenstein thought he was dead, so he throws him over the river. Apparently with his research as well, because they found the book on him. Anyways, I'm going ahead of myself. Throws him off into the river, and thought he was dead. He was not dead. Adam wasn't dead. He comes up, which is the Frankenstein, what people call Frankenstein, but the doctors called his last name is Frankenstein. So he wanted revenge for all the the hurt that Dr. Frankenstein gave him, and what he put him through, and the promised. Ooh, that's a spoiler too. Nah, forget that. Okay, so he goes and he kills his wife. A life for a life, he says. So and then he runs away. And Dr. Frankenstein was pissed off. He starts hunting Adam, and Dr. Frankenstein freezes in the winter. Because
Adam goes to the north to hide. Frankenstein pursues him and just ends up dying. So he goes back. He takes Dr. Frankenstein back to the cemetery, I guess, where he was, and buries him. And then this is when all the crazy stuff happens. All of a sudden, demons show up, and gargoyles. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, for some reason I can't pronounce that right. And show up as well, which is really cool. The animation for them, switching from gargoyle to human is really awesome, because like the wings go up and then they come out as a human, and they always have capes, which is supposedly their wings in human form or something like that.
The CGI is awesome in this film. Can we just say, like, one of the good things about this film is the CGI?
Most of it, I feel like the gargoyles were a little bit too weird looking, I think.
Really? I love the gargoyles.
They weren't bad. They weren't bad by any means. I've seen worse CGI.
They're made to look like angels as well. And they're not angels, but the idea is like humans think they've seen angels, servants of God or whatever, but actually it's just gargoyles. Right.
So they're it's basically angel against demons type movie going on.
Oh, but they do say in the movie as well, the gargoyles have a connection to these other race called the archangels, and we just never see the archangels.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
And it looks like it leads up to a sequel as well. At the end of the movie. I was just like, no, you guys are it's cheese. There's a lot of cheese.
Yes,
there's a lot of cheese. And I have to mention, all right. So I am a big fan of Yvonne Strahovski. She is a beautiful woman.
Oh my god, what, the gargoyle chick?
No. Oh, well, the queen, yeah. Anyways. The scientist. The scientist in the film.
Her.
I
thought there was
she's
a gargoyle.
Miranda from Mass Effect. And
is she now?
She's Sarah Walker from Chuck, which I also really enjoyed Chuck, except for the ending. I didn't really like the ending too much, but it's fine. It's fine.
The big bad guy in this. Do you know how it's a bad movie and you sort of watch it and you're like, I hope I don't see anyone I recognize. I hope I don't see anyone I recognize.
Right.
Were you like that at all?
Yes,
the big bad guy
and I saw her and I was like, no, this is gonna ruin her career. Like,
everyone does a
please.
bad movie though. All actors and actresses, once they've been doing stuff long enough, you can look at Sir Ian McKellen and he will have been in tons of bad movies. You just got to pass it up. You just got to accept that it happens.
But I mean, many big actors have been in bad movies. Some people don't even need to recover from it because they're just so good that it doesn't matter if they were in a bad movie.
It wasn't the actor's fault. It was the script and the direction. You know, that's what people will say if they've been in a bad movie and they're a big enough name.
Right.
But the big bad guy as well in this film was an actor I recognised. He played the father in Shaun of the Dead, and he played like the police constable in Hot Fuzz, and he played a pretty big character as well in whatever the new one was as well. I can't remember what it's called. At the World's End, I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, and I recognised him, and I was like, oh, but he was cast quite well. I think actually he played a really good kind of evil demon-y kind of character, corporate demon dude. But sorry, go on. So with the story,
so all right, things I was just like a little meh about. All right, so but he's because he's like he was reanimated. For some reason, he's strong. That's the plot. For some reason, he's very, very strong.
Well, they do give a reason for it.
What did they give?
Because when
he's shocked
Frankenstein,
because electricity, he survived electricity.
Dude, why would you want a scientific explanation? This is a world of demons and magic.
Okay,
and stuff.
all right, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm being too critical. Let me step back a little bit. Okay, he's strong. Okay, so because of that, the demon lord, the prince wants to bring back all his demons to be like Frankenstein and be more powerful because the demons kind of suck. There's a lot of them, but they're like zombies. Like you just mow through them. Like they're very easily killed. And it's so
Except one or
are the
two,
gargoyles. Like there's no way to tell what can kill either of them. Like sometimes
to me, it
one
looked
little
like
hit kills them, and sometimes they can withlast like a hit. Like
you're right, yeah.
Like one of the big gargoyles, the trusted advisor, who is a complete idiot in the movie. How can he be so old and be such a complete idiot? How can he be around the queen so much and be a complete idiot?
What, do you mean
remember when the
dissenter?
queen hands him the book that says every detailed research of everything about Frankenstein, and he's like, "It's just a book," and I'm like, "What do you mean it's just a book? How old are you? Were you just born into the world?" This is
okay.
All
That
the
bit was kind of
research,
stupid,
you idiot. Like it's just like the writing. It's like he had a bunch of quotes and he writ stuff around it. Like it's the writing is so bad.
Are you sure you don't just dislike him a bit more because he takes the dissenting opinion a lot? Because he's the person who asks the questions and anchors the scene. He's always the one that, people are doing stuff and he's always the one that says, "Are you sure you should be doing that?" He's always offering the alternate opinion. He's not necessarily
but he did
stupid.
it bad. Maybe it's just his acting. Maybe it was just his acting.
Maybe
if he said, "Okay, but why do you need to hide the book in the crypt? But why is this book so special?" Maybe if he delivered the line like that, I would be okay. But the way he delivered his lines were just...
The lines were terrible. You're right. The whole movie's so cheesy.
And
so
it might not
cheesy.
be his fault. It might not be his. It might be his acting, or it might just be because the script is really bad, and he's just trying to make it in Hollywood. Maybe that's what it was. But the movie, dude, at the end, I kind of enjoyed it. I'll put that out there. I kind of enjoyed it.
The soul thing.
I would have. This is how I judge it. Could I have gone without seeing this movie? Yes. Yes, I probably could have.
Brutal.
But
verdict.
I didn't totally hate the movie, but I felt like it wasn't as bad as that it's good, right? It wasn't like that. It was kind of like trying to be something, and it wasn't.
Do you know what it reminded me of? So first of all right, so my opinion on the movie, I loved it, but only because it was so bad. It was actually a lovable movie because it was terrible to me. I loved it. It was so good. It was like it was. Just so much of the dialogue was so cheesy. Okay, the movie's called I, Frankenstein. And so at the end of the movie, he's like...
Oh, no.
At the end of the movie, he's like this. He's like, I will be the one to battle those who cannot fight for themselves. I will be the destroyer of the demons. I will be this. And you can just tell, okay, that you know what the last line's going to be. And then he goes, I, Frankenstein. And then it goes, and the credits come on and shit.
I flipped out when that happened. I flipped out when that happened. I was just like, no, he's not going to say it. I like threw my hands up. I'm alone in this little condo. I'm like, no, he did it. No, he didn't. Oh, snap.
The game. Oh, that's something I was going to say, though, right? So the movie reeks of this cheesiness the whole way through it. Like, every line is just so punch me in the face, stupid,
plot,
like,
plot,
obvious.
Plot.
It's hilarious. But what I was going to say, right, is this movie I could totally see being a video game plot. Everything about it, you know, like a third-person action... you know, like, have you ever played, they're not called Raziel, are they? What's the games that Raziel stars in? Legacy of Kain, yeah? Mm-hmm. It's literally, like, I can imagine this being a video game for, you know, one of the new consoles, and I'm running around in, so people that don't know the setting, it starts in, like, the late 1700s, but, then Frankenstein runs off after he learns about the gargoyles and the demons who are in eternal war over Earth and humans, right? And he decides, I'm neither of you, I'm neither gargoyle, neither am I demon, I am my own creature. And then he walks off, right? So he's alone for ages, and then he comes back, and it's actually set in the modern world, so the setting's pretty cool. It actually reminded me a lot of, did you ever see Underworld?
Of course.
Don't you think? This is Underworld.
Significantly bad each movie, but I still don't care. I don't care. I watch them anyway. It's one of those movies that me and my wife just enjoy.
So Underworld is, again, it's a vampire film, but it's like, it's set in the modern day. And really, to me, this felt like an homage to Underworld, at least in terms of setting. You know, and in a lot of ways, it felt much like a vampire movie. It felt like, oh, look, all these demons and angels and things are fighting one another, and it's all this, you know, high mythology. Well, is it like, could you call it Catholic-based mythology? Like, what is that realm of mythology they're talking about? Where we're talking about God and the devil and demons and hell and stuff. Like, this isn't like, you know, this isn't Norse mythology or Greek or anything like that. It's quite contemporary, isn't it? It's, I don't know, very Western. Anyway, so, that's really what and to me, it just felt like a really fun mixing pot of those things, and it was terribly predictable, really bad. The twist ending that saves the day is not a twist; it's seen a mile away, and it's hilarious. It's just everything about it is great. I spent the whole time just laughing and just enjoying it, man. It was funny.
All right, so that means you enjoyed where, you know, like for instance, they apparently, right? He never talked to the gargoyle. What do they call them? Alliance, camp. Cathedral. They're in the
people in the cathedral.
They call it something. Yeah. They call him something. He never talks to them after he leaves, right? But when he comes back and they wrap him up in chains, I could understand because the queen delivered her lines properly. You know, I can see that they had something. Frank and Adam and the queen, but he like asked like one of the gargoyles that he barely talked to, like, please. You know, like he's supposed to have sympathy for him. Well, and there was nothing established. There was nothing established. Like, there's a lot of scenes like that. And there's also a scene where he's supposed to catch this guy because he has something very, very important. Very. And he stops to admire his work of slaughtering people. He stops and looks at someone he just slain while the guy just runs away. You remember that scene? When he gets the book,
I do, yeah.
And he's just like, people start coming after him, and he just like stops and starts fighting, right? But not like not like the rushing fighting, just taking his time. And then another guy comes and he kills him, and he looks at him as he, you know, like dissipates.
And he just walks off, yeah.
And then he just walks off very slowly. I'm like, there's a guy running with the book that would end the world. You need to catch this guy. Stop stopping, like. There's so many moments like that in a film. I'm gonna stop whining now. I didn't like it.
I'm surprised you didn't like it that much. Honestly, I had you pegged as someone that could look over that kind of stuff, and as long as there's a lot of pretty fights and stuff.
I do most of the time, but for this one, I didn't care. Like Underworld, I've looked over that. Well, the first movie was pretty good. Second movie, they slowly get bad. But I still enjoy those. But for this one, I don't know. It's just something about it. I mean, it's just the writing was just too bad, and it wasn't bad like cheesy bad. It was just bad.
Do you know what was weird about this film? I could tell it was bad really quickly, and I don't know how. And I feel like to be a good director, you need to be able to identify something. There's just like this subtle language I just don't get, right? So think about the way that the movie starts, yeah? It's got all that exposition, right? It's like, I was created, and then I took a life for my life, and then it did all that stuff. You know where right at the beginning of the movie, where he goes in that graveyard outside the cathedral, and he's just buried Frankenstein. And then the demons come to attack him. You know that bit? And then there's a bit of a fight?
Yeah.
I don't know how, but as soon as the way that it was edited, the way that it was shot, there was no dialogue even at this point, but the second that happened, that he got attacked by demons, I could tell there was something off about the movie. And anyone listening to this podcast, if you're going to go and watch it, you'll just know. Did you get that feeling yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
It's weird. You're like, okay, I know that this movie's bad. And I immediately picked up on that. I was like, okay, I know this is bad, but why? And I don't know how I knew that it was bad right from that moment. And that even wears away a little bit later. And then obviously the cheesy dialogue comes, and then the plot holes come.
Cinematography is so vital for a good movie.
See, you can say that word.
And the scenes, the way the camera is positioned, the way
I'm aware that
comes into the scene, how characters are introduced, that whole thing, it needs to be done well. Okay,
yeah,
and it wasn't. It was
why?
Like
what was wrong with it?
I seriously think that a movie could just not have really good, shots and stuff like that. It could still be an enjoyable movie if the writing was a little bit better, just a little bit better. And you know those shots where it just stays too long on a character, like when he's looking at the guy as he dies instead of running for the guy. There's a lot of scenes like that, so it jags up the film for you. So it's just like, why am I thinking? You shouldn't be thinking about the movie. The movie should be doing the thinking for you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you should be immersed. You shouldn't be thinking that
you shouldn't be looking at the time of a YouTube video while you watch it.
Oh, I started doing something while I was watching it too. I started playing Hearthstone while I was watching it.
Oh my gosh! No wonder you enjoyed the movie a little bit more. You didn't actually watch the film.
No, not the whole thing. It was only for I played like one match, and then I was like, wait, I've missed too much plot, and then I rewound it and watched it again. That bit that I'd missed. But yeah, it distracted me enough to the point where, because you just know it, right? You know what's going on. It's the kind of thing you can watch out of your periphery. And one thing I will say,
you have to watch it just like everyone else. Just sit there and just watch this terrible movie.
One legitimate thing that I think the movie did do quite well. And it's a shame that these people don't get credit so much. I do think it had great CGI. I really do. I thought a lot of those fights were fantastic. Like when there were actual battles between the gargoyles and the demons, and you see all the red flashes of the descending, but every now and then like one big blue one. I thought a lot of that did look cool, Some of the fights were really interestingly choreographed. And when you think about the chamber at the end with all the bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
That looked cool. It all looked very convincing and interesting. I thought that was nice.
I thought it was a little off-putting in the chamber. It looked too like it's in a future. But I guess he says that he's been keeping bodies in there for centuries. So I guess that's why it looks really old. But there was a really good fight that I was extremely impressed with. He uses these two these two staffs, I guess you can say.
Yeah, what are they, man? What are they? They're like two blunt weapons.
Yeah, they're just
you hold
blunt,
in two hands.
Like they're like the futuristic version of a club or a baseball bat. And they're all metal. And he fights the guy who steals the book, remember? Because he follows the scientists into that warehouse. Remember that? And then they have like a 1v1. 1v1. That fight,
Bro.
when they hit the sound when they hit each other's sticks, because he was using sticks too, was really cool. Really
yeah,
cool.
I agree.
Probably
there was a lot of momentum
scene
to it
in the movie for me for the fighting, and I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. I sat up in my seat. I was like, this the sound, the way they were moving, like it was like a different scene entirely, a different movie entirely. I was like, this is really cool. And then it got a little silly or whatever. He like falls down from a building and all of a sudden he's hurt. I'm like, you're freaking Frankenstein. Why are you hurt? Why are you like when he goes to his little house or his little building, whatever. And he's like,
I
thought
they were gonna do it. Did you think they were gonna do it?
I thought he was gonna get some.
Yeah, there you go. I was actually surprised.
Because that's what she's there for, man. That's what she's there for. The pretty, overly pretty scientist. Man, I'm not saying that scientists can't be beautiful. I mean, I'm not going in that argument. But I'm just saying, there's a reason why she was picked for that part. Even though she's a good actor.
But it definitely seemed like, oh, he's my hero. I'm going to touch him up and then touch him up. You know, that's exactly what it seemed like it was going to be. And they didn't do that.
But they did.
I guess because it was a bit too edgy.
They did do the, like she's the damsel in distress thing. But I'm glad they didn't overly sex her up, though. I didn't get that vibe from this movie at all. And
I was actually going to ask
happy
you that.
with that. Yeah, they didn't do that. They didn't do it. I mean, damsel in distress, sure, whatever. She's a scientist. Who cares? You know, like she's not supposed to be able to fight.
We have a lot of scientists that listen to us, Matt. We talked about this before.
What? I'm pretty sure none of them know taekwondo or whatever, know how to fight off demons. I'm pretty sure none of them know how to do that.
Matt, there's a whole world, a whole war going on that most humans don't know about.
You're delivering the lines now. There's a whole world. Oh my gosh. And the lines he delivers when he's in that room with Yvonne. Oh my gosh. Strahovski. The lines that he delivers, it's like so canned. Oh my gosh.
Canned is a great word for it. They're just cheesy action hero lines that they just throw out there constantly. He's like, I tell you guys,
different. When he says I'm different, and I'm like,
no,
why?
But
that's the point. I was just like, why am I watching this crap?
Give it to any 14-year-old boy, and don't you think it would be like their favorite movie of all time?
Of course, there was a lot of movies.
Really
I loved
would be.
all the Batmans. Batman Returns, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. I had all of them in cassette tape, and I watched them multiple times, pretty much every Saturday for years. Okay. When I go back to the movies, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. Okay.
Well, you gotta like it ironically though. If you like it ironically,
nostalgia might hit and like, oh yes, this is so good, so bad that it's good. Probably.
Does he say "Ice to meet you" in that film? He must.
Oh Jesus.
He must say "Ice to meet you."
I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember what
Freeze,
it was.
Ice.
He does a lot of puns though. He does do a lot of puns. I can't remember the line that I remember the most.
Here we go. There's a whole video on YouTube of Mr. Freeze's puns. 1,356,000 views.
There it is.
I'll be watching this after the podcast.
He does a lot of puns. All right. Anyways, that's it. We done.
Now you're picking a movie for next week.
Oh, really?
And you don't get to cop out and say Batman. Yeah, because I picked this one, so you pick the next one.
Crap. I wasn't prepared. Okay. All right. I keep being told to watch this movie. I don't know what it's about. So if it's bad or, bad in the wrong way, I apologize to everyone who's watching who wants family-friendly.
Ooh.
Spaceballs. I've never watched it.
Didn't I watch that just really recently?
Did you? I never watched it. We could pick another one. I have a couple.
Yeah, I watched this really recently. I talked to you about this on a podcast.
Oh, really? Okay, all right. Let's choose another one. I might still watch it anyway. RoboCop 2014. We watched the first one. Time to watch the remake. Yes. It's perfect.
I don't think I actually watched the original RoboCop. Why didn't I do that?
Because you were lazy. Whoa. Now you got to watch two movies.
Whoa. No, I don't want to watch two. I'll watch 2014.
Okay, fine.
Yeah? It looks pretty good. I'm liking the screenshots.
It's probably not. It's probably not. It's probably not.
I thought you liked RoboCop.
I absolutely love RoboCop. Yeah,
so
dude.
Why wouldn't you be impressed about the HD remake?
Because they're gonna... I'm not a type of person who's like, oh my gosh, they ruined the original and blah blah. I'm not a type of person like that. But I would stay away from the movie. I wouldn't watch it because I know that it's gonna just like mess up my opinion. Like it's just like going to see Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles. I feel like I need to skip that because Ninja Turtles is such a big part of my like gaming and childhood.
See, I wonder, because I was never super into Ninja Turtles, I wonder whether I should watch it all on TV and then watch the movie, or even doing that would spoil it for me. You know?
It's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same movie anyway. I consider Michael Bay's
Well, I'd hope not.
revision something totally different, and not even Ninja Turtles, just mutant turtles or whatever you want to call them. They're super beefy, dude.
Do you want me to read out, by the way, the top upvoted comment on the new RoboCop movie trailer?
Okay.
What general people think of it?
Okay.
Can I swear with it? Because there's swears here.
No.
Okay. They had the idea of using the old RoboCop, but they basically said beep that and replaced it with this new beep. I believe that is where they did wrong completely, and also the reasoning for him becoming RoboCop, which is also BS. And that's got a lot of thumbs on it. So, I don't know. It looks like we're in for another good one. I promise, we'll watch this, but when I pick the next movie next week, I'll be picking a stunner. I'll be picking some fantastic cinema, okay?
Okay.
Really, really strong. So, there's good stuff coming up.
All right.
See, I can say that now. I don't actually have any ideas, but on the night, it'll be all right. It'll be all right on the night.
Amazing. All right.
So is this from last week, or
all
did
right?
you want to
So
talk about that
there's a lot of good things that happened with Nintendo, the new Zelda. There's so much that was going on with E3. Well, not really much, but Nintendo did E3 extremely well. Did you watch the press conference for?
Everyone is saying that Nintendo beat the snot out of everyone else.
Well,
yeah,
it was
I don't really
delivered
see
so
many
well.
new
You had
IPs.
Robot Chicken. You had Seth Green doing the commercials and stuff like that for
Right.
the in between big
What's that got to do with the games, though? I ask.
It doesn't matter. It keeps people entertained.
Yeah, but people shouldn't go to E3 for entertainment. They should go there for media news about gaming. In my opinion.
Really? So you're gonna be paying money for some boring guy to talk about numbers on the screen?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna let other people pay money to listen to a boring guy and then have them deliver it to me on their websites and their videos and stuff.
Okay. But see,
I'm not saying that there should be no entertainment at E3.
I'm
just
video
saying
pre-recorded. It's a video pre-recorded. They do stuff right. They don't have to spend all this money renting out a dang studio or whatever. They can just.
It's like when Microsoft gets like a pro football player or something on to promote the new NFL or whatever. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about you. Even if I cared about these video games, I wouldn't care that you just hired this guy who's just getting paid to say a few lines to get on the stage. It's not too many steps away from that what Nintendo does getting Robot Chicken and stuff on. Don't you think? On some level?
No, I think it's all about delivery, and they delivered it very well.
Okay,
it was a very
fair enough.
entertaining and a lot of games. I mean, the Robot Chicken thing was literally like 10 seconds each in between trailers and stuff.
Sure, okay.
Like
yeah,
it
that
was
does seem pretty
nothing.
cool.
It wasn't like having some basketball star, some football star come on in front of millions of people and
Millions
just
of nerds.
They talk crap for about 10 minutes. And they have some like useless banter between another guy who's never played games a day in his life and a football player. Like, no, there's a difference between that. It's a drastic difference. Robot Chicken did a couple short, funny clips to keep you interested to move on into the next thing. Like, and it's like 10 seconds. And then they had this trailer. What I want to mention, Zelda looks pretty damn cool. But I want to give props to Nintendo. But the Smash trailer, have you ever seen that?
No,
When
I haven't.
Reggie
Can you link it?
was fighting. Hold on.
can
You have
look it
to
up.
see it. You have to see it.
I've looked it up right now. I'm watching it. Super Smash Bros. Palutena trailer E3 2014.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
Oh, okay.
It's the Wii, the Mii trainer. I mean, not the Mii trainer. I was about to say the Wii Fit trainer. The Mii, Smash
training?
Bros. Smash Bros.
Me joins the
reveal.
fight.
Yeah,
All right, I'm watching it now. A lot of people seem pretty happy about it.
absolutely.
Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Hold on, let me get my headphones in. What is this?
Yeah, see, like they had fun, man. They had really good fun. Nintendo had really good fun doing it, and I think that's why they won. is because they looked like they were just having a blast doing it. I mean, there was a couple pictures with, I don't know. It was just good. Overall, good.
I saw some quotes about Miyamoto saying something like, I remember when I was young and I was out fishing and I put my hand in the water and a fish came up and like sucked on my finger, and it was this really visceral, memorable experience that I've carried through my entire life. And through video games, I want to give people those kinds of experiences to new generations. And then there was like an image of, you know, him just stood next to some
kids. That's the picture I was talking
absolute
about.
Fascination on their face as they were playing.
Yeah.
And you know, it is pretty cool. It sort of shows the human side to these companies.
And they're doing some new stuff. Finally, Nintendo's doing some new IPs and stuff. And I might cop a Wii U. I might. There's been games
Which of
I've
those
been
are you
wanting
most interested in?
to get. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm really interested in PS4 and Xbox and even the Wii U. And it's the games. The games are not good enough. And I feel like why get like, for instance, Grand Theft Auto. Like, I didn't want to get it on an older system. You know, I don't want to get it, like, the graphics is dumbed down. Like, when you've been playing on PC, when you have a high rig, you've been playing on PC, you go down to a console game, and it's just like, whoa. You know, and I'm not talking about artsy games. I'm talking about games that are trying to go for this look, this realistic look. It's significantly downgraded on a console.
Did we talk about the Watch Dogs thing last week on the podcast, or hadn't it come out?
What, when they dumbed down the PC?
Yeah,
the PC
when
version?
someone modded it to just re-enable code that was already in the game that made it look like its old 2012 trailers that they'd clearly just sort of ramped down.
Yep, I'm pretty sure everyone has watched the Total Biscuit rant on it, so there's no really point in going into depth. But yeah, they dumbed it down for PC.
Regardless
and they did release an article that I have yet to read as well. I'll probably link that. They responded to it as well.
Oh, did they? I didn't know. Well, regardless of whether they did or not, all the point I was trying to make was you can see that there is a very clear difference there if you've already got a PC as well and it's already doing better, then it does take that away. Literally, it's just about the games, and for me, I don't know, Destiny is the only thing I'm vaguely interested in on any.
And I heard that
console.
the PC version is going to be delayed or not coming.
I don't think there is a PC version for Destiny. That's the whole point. That's why I'm interested in it.
Oh, no. No,
yeah,
there was, though. I guess it was just one of those things where they say, oh, it's for PC, Xbox, and PS4 or whatever, but they don't really know for sure. Oh, dude, that sucks. That means I'm going to have to buy it because I really want to play that. I'm a Halo guy, even though I didn't really enjoy the last couple ones, but still.
They were still solid games. They just weren't as great as the series earlier was.
But I used to play the multiplayer a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
And after Reach, I just stopped. Reach was just like that line that I was like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I just sort of grown a bit bored of it, to be honest. Yeah, there were negative changes as well, which probably progressed things. But for me, I didn't play much Reach multiplayer, and I certainly didn't play much Halo 4 multiplayer.
Nope. I haven't even finished the... Man, I still haven't finished it. Me and my friend have to finish it. Yeah, we play Halo games together. We played it since we were young. Halo 1, Halo 2.
Yeah, you've always got that person you play through them with, you know? Like, everyone's got that guy who they do it co-op with. And it's weird because I think Halo games are so much better if you play them solo. When you do it co-op, it like changes the experience an awful lot for me. But solo, you get to like really listen in to all the sounds. There's no like respawning if you die. What's that?
Who you play with. It depends on who you play with.
No, it doesn't matter who you play with. When you're playing co-op, if you die, you tell your friend to get to cover and then respawn. If you're playing single player, it just fundamentally changes the experience to me because you make sure you're dealing with everything in the environment instead of just like 50%.
I think you just like single player stuff. You've mentioned this multiple times.
I'm not saying
I don't think you don't like to play with people. That's just it.
No, I like to play with people. I play these things co-op all the time.
Story is pretty much the best in. I don't know.
Oh, no way.
The best.
I find it so hard to pay attention to, especially in Halo, where there's all that like voice comms and stuff going on, and little things that happen between NPCs if you're watching the right area, things you see in the sky as ships get blown up and stuff. It's so hard to pay attention to all that when you're also telling your friend to let you drive the Warthog or whatever, you know? Or when your friends progress forward that little bit more and it skips you ahead, or, you know, it's just changed the dialogue slightly.
Know.
It's where he's just gone off and shot everyone in the head. It changes it in a huge way.
We stay together and we all stay quiet during like talking. I only play with one other person. I don't play with like 4 people.
Yeah, I think even trying that, as hard as we do, I still think it changes it for the worse. It's fun on replays, and I love the idea of playing games co-op. It's fun on replays, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying you lose a part of the experience, and you lose a part of the experience when you play it co-op. I'm not saying it's worse playing co-op. I'm not saying I don't enjoy playing co-op.
You did. You did say it was worse. You said it worse multiple times.
It's worse in some ways, yeah, but not as an overall experience. I'm not admonishing the entire idea of playing something co-op. I'm just saying in some ways it is demonstrably worse. You can't argue with that. It is.
It's not. It's not for me.
You're so stubborn.
No,
really
I'm not.
Me.
I'm not. It's just not. I've played co-op story most of the time. It is one of the best experiences ever. I love co-op stories.
It's better in many ways. You're right. It is better.
I love it. Like when we used to go for it, me and my friend go through all the secrets in Halo 3. Every single skull, every single Easter egg, and we went through the whole story multiple times.
Did that
it was
too.
the best experience ever. By myself, that would have sucked.
No way.
For me, it lessens the experience. Yeah,
I did all of that, and I played it single player, and I can appreciate the difference between the two methods of playing.
Nah, I'd rather play with somebody else.
All right. Let's move on. Do you want to get to some Guild Wars 2 Electrum?
Oh, yeah. Lay it on me.
So, last week... Do you want to talk a bit more fully about what happened last week at the end of the podcast?
Well, the internet started cutting off, right? And let's not. You're jinxing it now.
What? No, I'm not. I'm not. We're past the time.
Hopefully. All right. So Comcast has been.
Beep.
No.
Beep.
No, please. I want it to be a full-on podcast. I don't like interruptions. It messes up the flow. But Comcast has been doing some type of, I don't know, rework in the whole entire condo building. Because something is really wrong, and it's always been something wrong with Comcast. Always, always, always. I've had people come over.
Why don't you swap, Matt?
I can't, because they have a contract. They have a contract with Comcast in this building. And there's nobody else. There's nobody else that has good internet. Nobody. That's why everyone uses Comcast, because they're the best speed. Uverse sucks. It's slow. It has the same problems. They suck. Okay? So don't tell me Uverse. Uverse is not heaven. Okay? It's not.
How many people have... Is there anything else?
iFOS? iFOS? What's the Verizon one? I can't remember what.
Dude, I don't know. We don't have monopolies over here? Okay, we sort of do a bit, but it's not as bad.
I always wonder how McDonald's tastes like over there. Because I hate McDonald's.
I wonder what stuff tastes like over there. Same brand, but just because the ingredients are grown where you are instead of,
yeah,
here.
Ingredients mean everything.
There's this thing on Reddit called Snack Exchange, where you send some guys sweets or whatever you want, and then they send you stuff. You trade just to experience food from all around the world.
Oh, dude.
It's pretty cool. And I've thought of doing it quite a few times. Just to experience some American... But the thing is, whenever I've had American chocolate, it's tasted horrible.
What? What chocolate have you had?
Well, we talked about this before. Hershey's.
Oh.
I think you agreed that Hershey's isn't amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that type of chocolate, the store-bought chocolate, like... You're going to get a certain type of quality. Well, there's better chocolate that, like Godiva and, there's a lot of chocolate stuff out there that you have to pay a little bit of extra money for, but you get a better experience.
Hershey's really cheapy then, is it?
Yeah. It's like $1. Like $1 for a bar and stuff like that. But, there's some good, like, I like Crunch. You ever taste Crunch? Nestle's Crunch?
No, but it sounds like something we do have here, which are called Crunchies. Which is like a kind of golden nugget.
Like crisp. It's like
crispy.
Yeah. That their world famous chocolate. You ever had that? I used to sell those in elementary. You ever had that in elementary where you have to sell chocolate to people and you get like prizes and stuff? I think it was Boy Scouts. I think I was in for that.
No, we never had that. I see that on TV all the time, like brownies being sold by Girl Scouts and stuff. We don't have that.
Oh no, cookies. Jeez.
Don't
Girl Scout cookies. I don't even know how
cookies?
that came about. How Girl Scout cookies came about to be so good. Like, what is that? What is that? Why are Girl Scout cookies so good?
I've never had a Girl Scout cookie in my life. What's so good about it?
Samoas, okay? Samoas. That is it. You're in heaven. You are.
I do like Samoas, but they're not like sweets, are they?
Yeah, they're like it's like chocolate and a little bit of coconut. It's really good. Really good.
Oh,
and a little bit of caramel.
I'm thinking of samosa.
Is a little bit caramel. Yeah, that's what the good Girl Scout cookie is called.
Do you know what a samosa is?
No.
Okay, it's one of those, and that's what I thought you were just talking about. They're like spring rolls and stuff.
We went off track, but yeah, Comcast has been working on this thing for about a week, so that's why some live streams have been cut and some delays in videos, all that type of stuff. Like it's just been on and off, on and off, on and off. So. Hopefully that doesn't happen during this podcast because I would like to get all of this that we have on this.
We did disconnect before recording, didn't we? And it was kind of scary, but then it fixed, so we're okay.
It's okay. It's all good.
We're okay. But yeah, so Guild Wars 2 Electrum. Let's go through it. We had a bunch of bongs last week and they were cut short. So that's most of the news. ArenaNet did start uploading. Do you know I didn't even know that this was like a series of things, this Tara Strong thing?
It's a series of videos for real?
I think it's either a series of videos or it's at least a series of blogs on the main website because I saw a thing that was like, hey, part 3.
So they're mostly write-ups is what you're saying, and then
yeah, I think most of them are just writing stuff up. There's there was something quite recently, from Tara Strong. This is the voice actress for Scarlet. Everybody loves Scarlet, right? Nobody.
Yeah, it was well
disliked
received and everything.
Villain, really believable.
Absolutely,
best villain of the Guild Wars franchise so far.
Absolutely.
So who wouldn't want to see, the voice actress talking about how well written the character is and how much depth there was to the character that she managed to put in it on her 2 lines of dialogue.
By the way, if people don't know who she is, like she voice acted Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, I don't know, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. You know, she's going to be in a lot of things.
Here's the good ones.
She's Harley Quinn as well.
Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
And Riku from FFX.
She was in Princess Mononoke.
Really?
Yes.
Was she?
Yeah.
Mononoke. That's a good movie too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a little bit better than RoboCop 25.
Oh god.
But yeah, so you can watch that. It's a video of her just talking about Scarlet, and me and Matt were quite candid about it when watching it. It's all well and good her saying a lot of this stuff, talking about Scarlet's motivations and stuff, but doesn't it just highlight to both of us how much it seemed to fall flat in game? She can talk passionately about all these things she thinks Scarlet thinks and feels and acts.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't we, the players, see evidence of it? Do you know what I mean?
And we were saying that maybe that all the stuff she recorded wasn't put into the game.
Oh, and it definitely wasn't, because...
And why was she there recording it in the first place, though? Like, she said, maybe it was recorded a very long time ago, like at the end of the series, and she says, "Oh, you guys killed me," and they released it later. Maybe that's what happened, or she's recording something for season 2. It's either that, or she's recording something for season 2.
I think she should be dead. I mean, the devs are so scared to kill characters. One of the only permanent things of consequence I think could really spice the story up. They're so scared to do it, and then when they finally do, they kill a villain that nobody really liked that much anyway. And if they then have the audacity to turn around and bring her back to life and do more exposition and stuff on her that people just don't want anymore, I don't know. I don't know whether that would be a good plan. So I don't think that they would have brought her back for season 2. I hope not, anyway. I mean, we do need more reason as to why she was chosen by Mordramoth. Like, why he was in her head in particular. I mean, we've had a little bit of it because of Omad's machine, but...
So maybe some journals, or some hologram or audio things she's probably recording for a little bit for
Yeah,
season 2,
yeah.
or
nothing,
I lost my
because-
train of thought. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just think or nothing.
Or that's it. Or season 1 stuff, extra season 1 stuff for the story journal.
Oh, right, yeah, for the story. Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. Because they talked, this was another bit of news. Bong, they did a live stream showing the creation of the story journal, and they did talk about, in that live stream, the idea that when they do finally go back to season 1, there's no, like, overarching narrative. There's no, like, okay, go here, go here, go here. They were just all, like, loosely strung together. And so when they create that, yeah, that may very well warrant some more Scarlet audio. You're right, that's a good thought.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was one of the things. It's not a particularly long video, but it is one I think you might want to check out if you just want to know a bit more about what they've been going on. Also this week they released a lore video summing up the events of all of Season 1. It is vastly abridged. What is it, 3 minutes total? Something like that? But being ArenaNet, they have the advantage of being able to just load up their servers with all the old stuff going on. So it's like, oh, we want footage of Flame and Frost. There you go. It's there. So go do it. You know, us as content creators, we can't do that easily. We can't be like, oh, I want to talk about the stuff that happened in the Tower of Nightmares. You have to pick and cherry pick old footage because you can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and most of it is just really bad YouTube footage if people don't know how to record in at least 720p. And they have like black bars all over the place.
Dude, do you think there's ever been a vertical video that someone's managed to fraps? So, you know, like, if people have got their iPhones and they sometimes record vertical videos and it's really, really bad pillar boxed. What if they somehow manage to mess up recording video footage so bad that they end up having these immense pillar boxes on the side? So it's basically a vertical video.
Oh, my God. I've seen some bad ones. I've definitely seen some bad ones.
You know, I think you could do that if you change the orientation of your screen. So instead of like landscape, it was portrait, and then you played the game and recorded it. You could probably pull it off. That'd be a pretty funny like April Fool's kind of here's the best video in the world kind of joke, and then you do that. Anyway, so yeah, that was another thing they did. Scarlet's War, pretty cool. I noticed now actually that they just put up a new article called "Introducing Points of Interest." Which is just kind of crazy. It's a new live stream show that they are now running. And it's starting just today, so it will now be available as a VOD if you guys want to watch it. But apparently it's a new live stream that they're doing, talking about some new stuff. They're going to be taking a look back at Season 1 of The Living World. How do you sort of feel about the recap kind of thing? Because we're in recap territory right now, aren't we? Because the new season's coming out, so everyone's interested in what happened on the previous one. I suppose everyone's just sort of kind of trying to, you know... ArenaNet have been pushing that a lot. Legacy of Scarlet, talking about Scarlet's War, and now this Points of Interest thing too. So if you guys want more exposition, if you've forgotten stuff about Season 1, you don't remember it fully, they're doing a new live stream.
I'm also doing videos about recaps. So
oh yeah, okay. I didn't want to mention it in case you didn't want to mention it.
Oh yeah. Oh, we shouldn't mention it then. We should just let's slide through.
Well, no, this is good. This will get people really excited. Oh, new video. What's that about?
Yeah. Oh, people live streaming. People who watch me live stream already know that I've been working on a couple stuff. But,
yeah.
I mentioned it.
Sounds like if you watch Matt Visual live streaming, you'll get a lot more cool stuff.
Or just
you'll hear a
follow
lot
me
more
on
about
Twitter. Actually, follow me on Twitter, and you might get some extra stuff. I've already been showing like art that my artist drew for me already. On Patreon and stuff like that. So I'm almost there. I'm almost done. But yeah. Anyways.
So some other stuff that happened. There was some information. I'm actually not going to go into this, so this is just a quick bong. When you're on the Chinese client, we probably won't do much more news about the Chinese client unless something crazy happens. But apparently every time you level up, you get a chest. It's like Guild Wars 2 gives you chests for everything, doesn't it? Everything gives you a chest.
Bunch of blues and greens.
Yeah, well... in the Chinese one, apparently it gives you a bunch of other stuff, like weird things, like Black Lion kind of things, but that don't exist in our client. So, yeah, you get weird stuff from leveling up, and I think that's kind of an interesting idea, especially if they're exclusive items, because it forces people to be constantly leveling characters if they want cool loot. Anyway, so there's that.
I hear stuff like that, and I feel like the firstborn child. I feel like they release... You don't you know how you're... with your mother's firstborn, they do all the experimental teachings with you and stuff like that, and they learn everything you know, they did wrong, and then they had the second child, and they treat that child with, like, you know, all the stuff they learned. And all the bad
I don't feel
stuff
that way
did.
because I am the second child. So I feel privileged. What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually the middle child. People say that being the middle child is supposedly the worst. What's your take on that?
I am the only one of my kind. No, I'm
See,
playing.
what was
I have
that?
a little sister.
Yeah, I thought you had it. Okay, cool. So you're the older child. Are
so
you jealous of your
I
little
was,
sister then?
yeah, so I was the guy.
You were
I
the
was
testing
the
ground.
mistake. The testing ground. The
Jeez.
testing ground. I was definitely the testing ground, for sure.
This one didn't work out so well. We're going to go a different way with the sister. There was a patch last week, bong, and in this patch, a few things changed. You now get dragon coffers from Black Lion chests, guaranteed every time you open one, so they are doing this like 2-weekly thing. I don't know what I really think about that. It's weird that it's dragon coffers. So I don't know, is that our Dragon Bash this year? Or does it mean that when Season 2 starts, it will begin with Dragon Bash? Oh, called it. Prediction. Maybe coming true. Maybe. So yeah, that's what's going on with those. And they changed a couple of other things. The worm has now been fixed. You can reflect the stuff again. Hooray. And they changed the world boss rotation. So world bosses come up twice as often as they used to. And this means that if maybe you could never do it before, you probably can now. So do keep an eye. There was something I wanted to talk to you about, Matt. I put this up on my channel and kind of floated out there, but I didn't get much response on it. They changed Claw Island. So, you know Claw Island, this is the place you get to go in the personal story, but once you're gone, you can never go back. You know, quite a sizable area of the world.
Dies.
Yeah. And there's 2 missions there, and then you're gone. I think I've talked with you before about the idea. Don't you think they should just add that to the regular world? Like, that would be a really easy thing to put in the living world.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah? No, like, just after we started saying that, randomly in this patch, it now shows you all the points of interests and areas in Claw Island that it never did before, that it used to lock out. And I don't know, man. It seems like maybe they'll add Claw Island back with a future patch. Because it seems like before, they hid those points of interest because they didn't want people to miss them in the personal story and then be forever annoyed that on their world map was an ungathered point of interest. But now they're happy to show them to us.
It's
and
the
I
same
wonder,
thing with an ore as well. That, you know, that room that you couldn't go into unless you were in the personal story?
Oh, snap. Yeah.
It's Straits of Devastation. Dude, like, if you miss that...
yes, I do.
If you miss that, that's it. You wrap 100% completion, not complete.
Well, actually, that's not true, is it?
It is.
It's not true. If you go to Straits of Devastation before you've completed your personal story... Well, first of all, they've patched it, so this doesn't happen anymore. But originally it was you had to get your personal story to that bit in Straits, and then you would have access to the room forevermore. But if you'd never done any personal story...
You'll be locked out forever. You'll be locked out forever, yes. You will be locked out forever. That's why they fixed it.
No, when they fixed it, what they did was they made it so that you could go in there without ever starting the personal story. So you could just go in there at any time.
Sure. I don't think... You sure?
Yeah,
because
100%.
I completed it and missed it entirely. Because
then you could have just
pointed
walked back
out
in.
The group. Maybe it was just a weird glitch with me. Because you get pointed out of the group, out of that map, without going back to the door to get the personal... I mean, not personal, the point of
interest, yeah.
So I had to wait until my friend got to where I was at for me to go back in there and get the point of interest. And
Maybe
then we went back in there, and I missed it anyway.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's brutal. Maybe if you just finished that step, it would have then unlocked it as a permanent thing for you. And it was like you were just slightly too early, and you could have just progressed
I passed it already.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is you go further forward, and then it would unlock.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
you mean at the end? I mean, that's like the end of the game, pretty much. Well,
there's quite a lot in all. There's quite a lot in all.
Yeah.
At Fort Trinity, because when you first get to Fort Trinity, then there's that whole arc, like, where you're not even in Straits and stuff. You're in, like, Timberlines and stuff.
I don't know how it is now. I haven't defeated it, but, man, it was... I hated that. I hated those parts, man. Oh,
yeah, it all sort of blurs into one.
I could not stand a personal story. I don't know if I'll going through it again might change my mind. It might. You know, like what you were saying when you're segue was starting over your character.
Yeah. I hope it changes my mind, but I don't think it will. I think it'll still be bad. I think I'll enjoy it a little bit at the start. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this. This was cool.
Right.
And then like,
yeah.
I don't know. It will taper off. It's that beautiful thing like where people are like, look, in an RPG, you start your character at the same place, and depending on the decision, you move further and further and further away. And it's like a big tree that branches out with all these paths. That's the way an RPG should work. Guild Wars 2 is the opposite. You can start in all these different locations. You can be different races with different backgrounds and all this stuff. And slowly all the branches connect as you work your way down. And then it always ends the same way. Do you see how it's like the opposite of what a good RPG should be? And, you know, I think that will probably drain on me eventually. But, you know, I actually haven't started playing that character. I made that video. And my hard drive's been so clogged with other stuff, I haven't even had time to begin. Because I kind of want to record it as I play, so... I know what the character name is. I've got the slot ready. He's actually there on my account, but I'm going to delete him, remake him, and be like, hey, guys. I'm not going to let's play it, but I'll, like, try and, I don't know. Highlight reel? Maybe stream, I don't know. But highlight reel, because you've done highlight reels before, remember? When you were doing, like, that personal story kind of thing? A while ago now.
Oh, yeah, I let's play the personal story, but, and it was, I can't remember. I thought it was quite good.
So did I, yeah.
People didn't, you know, people don't want to watch Let's Play the story because they've already done it already. So,
and because the story's not very good.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm hoping just a couple of little, what's the word? Highlights will tide people over. Anyway, moving on, the next bong. So you can now have pink eyes and pink hair. Interested?
Yes. I want to... make myself My Little Pony.
You made your character a lady once, and I'm curious whether you'd maybe want to do that again.
Pink hair. Yeah, I think
pink hair.
I think I might do that actually.
Pink eye, isn't that a bad thing? Isn't that like zombiness?
Well, the pink eye is usually around the iris. Right?
Yeah, but pink eye is like a real thing, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like it's
okay, because in
and all that.
In South Park, people that get pink eye become zombies. Or they just think zombies are people with pink eye.
Oh my
That's pretty bad. Oh, do not Google image pink eye. The second image on that is horrible.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, I'm tempted.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The second image.
Oh.
I'm not very squeamish, but that was a shocker to see. Jeez.
I feel like in order to prove my manliness, I need to Google this now.
You could do it. It's not that bad. It's like eye boogers, and you just kind of want to wipe his eye so that they go away. There it is. There it is.
Oh no! Oh, that is just oh, look at all that gunk. Okay, I'm done. Okay. So, anyways,
lastly, there was some dude cosplaying on Reddit that I thought looked really cool. And I've actually lost the screenshot now.
Amazing.
So, amazing. There you go. Well, the maybe worst bong ever, that one. Okay.
Why did you send me a picture of pizza rolls?
No, they're samosas, dude.
Oh wow, they look.
I thought you looked
tasty.
earlier. They're delicious, man. I think they're Indian food. They're delicious.
I think you'll find like empanadas for I guess the Spanish countries, I guess you can say. But
you'll probably find as well they're very healthy.
Like pizza empanadas. I think they're called empanadas. Oh no, they're called something else. But anyways, it kind of looks like a couple of these images where it has like the bubbles on it.
Oh, apparently samosas are not healthy. Health experts
Absolutely
in the UK have even issued warnings that samosas are injurious to health, as one samosa has upwards of 25 GM of fat. The same as a large slab of butter.
Amazing.
But they're filled with like vegetables and stuff. And the pastry on it's like thin. I guess the second you say pastry, you should know they're not healthy. Okay. All right. So do you want to move on to the questions?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So the questions from this week are last week's, correct?
Some of them, yes.
Okay. I love the way you did that. It's like it was taking your attention. You look back over to the mic. Yes, maybe some of them. And then you go back to doing it. All right. So sit down and shut up. 13 Says, hey Matt and Wooden, a lot of podcasts you talk about your desire for hardcore content, and I agree with you. You give examples of things such as Release Tech and Jungle Worm. With the introduction of mega servers, what do you think about having a system where someone could queue for either hardcore or casual play? In a hardcore server, content such as Tech and Worm would have their original nostalgia and difficulty. RNG, I would assume, would have to be slightly rebalanced for the specific server, but this would allow for players of both caliber to coexist. Would the inclusion of 2 levels of play be too much for ArenaNet? I know this isn't a complete cure for lack of hardcore content, but it would allow for more interesting play with a more satisfying reward system.
So imagine, all right, when you're gonna be leveling up your character, you're gonna be leveling up in this mega server, right? And I've leveled up a character in the mega server, so I know there's nobody around. So imagine on the separate server, on the hardcore server, how many people will be around leveling with you? Nobody.
Yeah, it's splitting the community. And I think worse, one thing people don't consider, and I don't know how much truth there is to this, but it's certainly an interesting angle. When you split the community like that, you stop the hardcore players interacting with the casual ones and potentially making those casual ones into hardcore ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just leave the casuals to like rot together kind of thing, and they never have anyone to inspire them or to teach them how to do the content and get better. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I actually think it's a very flimsy argument, but it's something I've been hearing recently, and maybe.
But it's quite interesting. I still think it's a really interesting idea to have a server that's not slightly harder, a lot harder, because you can't do this slightly harder. Like, it has to be a total different game entirely. Like, everything is just hard, difficult. You can't fight a moa bird without getting one hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be really cool to see like the whole culture that would, you know, thrive off of that. You know, like, oh, this is a certain build to get through this area because this area is different from this area or this map. I would like, you know, it would be cool. I mean, yes, it will never happen. There's no way you can split a community that's already not necessarily low pop, but like, not many people are just gonna go to the hardcore servers. There's not many of us.
To me, don't you think they don't have to actually split them across servers? Like, in a true sense, what is a hardcore character? Like, for many games, particularly like action RPGs, a hardcore character is one that is permadeath, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't Guild Wars 2 just let you create a hardcore character? You'd be in regular servers, but if you die, you're permanently dead. And how hard would it also be to make that character, you know, take double damage or something? And yeah, these are arbitrary things that would need more design and development and input on them. But, you know, it really doesn't take that much, I would say, to give people some, you know, interesting, extra difficult thing. And make it hard enough, and then people will care about, you know, the first guy that gets to level 80 on a hardcore. The first group that manages to complete a dungeon, complete, you know, a RA on hardcore. The first group to kill the Great Jungle Worm on hardcore. You don't actually have to change the content. You don't. And obviously that would be preferable, but, you know, I'd rather see that than the much more unrealistic goal of revamping, you know, all the other stuff like that.
I find that very interesting. Hardcore servers is definitely quite interesting.
Well, it's not a server even, is it? It's just a flag on a character.
Oh, so you're saying, that would be quite, oof.
Why? What's wrong with you running around with casuals?
No, nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But you know, I need an extra character slot for that. That's what I was thinking about.
Oh, right.
I have all these level 80s just sitting there, and I'm not gonna.
I mean, what do you want? You permadeath? And you mean just like a flag where it's like, okay, I'm hardcore, and then when I die, it turns off hardcore, and you can never turn it back on.
What are you thinking, that if it dies, it turns back?
It deletes the character, puts it in a graveyard, and it's like, well, these are your graveyards. These are your previous dead characters.
Yeah, that is definitely hardcore. That's definitely hard.
That'd be cool, right?
I don't think the combat is really good for that, though.
Why not?
It just doesn't work with you. You get downed and dead very quickly in Guild Wars 2. Like, it's
only because people play full glass because there's no risk to it.
True. I guess.
You might actually run different sets if you went for that. And imagine how cool it would be. You're playing a hardcore character. You just went downstate. Oh my god! Like, you're actually gonna feel something there instead of the regular.
Unless it's a mob that one shots you and then one shots you dead.
Yeah, and then play again and learn to dodge.
Really? Two dodges to dodge one shots.
There's actually not that much of that in game.
That's not the way the game is played though. Like the game is
you dodge one
you're targeted. You're targeted. So you can't dodge all the hits. You're gonna die. Like that's just the way it is. That's the way the game is built. You're gonna get downed. Yes, yeah, you are, dude. There's no way you can go through the. Someone make a character and try not to die. Fighting a champion boss that's like overpowered in some way.
Well, there's another discussion there as well, isn't there? What do you have to fight? Well, what's the goal here? Complete the personal story? If all it is permadeath, and you could easily run a barebow ranger, face roll your entire way through the game, and you won't ever die. Get to level 80,
if you don't fight any of like the hardcore bosses.
So yeah, so then that's the question. Like, where's the line? What do they? And that's why I say like they'd have to add more than just a hardcore flag. They'd have to at least it would be like, okay, you're going to start taking more damage or stuff like that, you know. And people aren't going to be happy with that because that's just, more health and more damage. That isn't difficulty. That's lazy design, blah, blah, blah. And I agree. But, you know, you've got to be realistic with the amount of changes they can put in. But, yeah. Are we both in agreement, at the very least, that making a hardcore server would be kind of crazy because it would split people?
Yeah, but good question all the way.
I agree. It's a nice sentiment.
Yeah.
Perfect world, we would have, you know, a million servers, wouldn't we? We would have role-playing servers, and we would have hardcore servers, and we would have open-world PvP servers. But we don't. Moving on. The next question is from Carl Berber, who says, hey guys, is there something you like to do knowing you're bad at it, but you do it anyways? Alright, now you picked this question, so you must have an answer.
I did last week. And now I totally forgot. I should have totally read this thing. Something that I'm bad at that I do anyways. The first thing that comes up to mind would be a genre in game. Like sometimes I enjoy racing games, but I don't think that's in the same category as something I'm bad at. Do you have any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I know. I've got something instantly.
Yeah? All right.
I sing all the time, and I'm a terrible singer. All the time. Never where anyone else can hear me, but I'm always singing, and I can't sing. I'm actually terrified. Do you know what I've always wanted to do, but I've never managed to do it? I think a lot of good singing is confidence. But, so I have, like, I spend so much of my life talking into this mic, I would be so scared to legitimately, like, put on, like, a karaoke song. Like, Enrique Iglesias' Hero. And sit here and try and sing the song with the lyrics up. What a terrifying prospect. I could never do that. I have an immense respect for people that can do stuff like that. Immense. And I wish I could sing, man. I wish I had the balls to do it. I can't, though. And so, yeah. I just sing with my headphones in. Are you never scared of that? Like, you're singing to a song with your headphones in, you turn around, and there's all these other people around you just looking at you. And you're
like, what is this bloody bastard doing? Yeah. That would be embarrassing.
That was good. That was British.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Nice little twist.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell, yeah.
Bloody hell and lag.
Have you ever legitimately said bloody?
Bloody? Maybe once in my life or twice.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a kid and your kid said bloody, would you shout at them for it and tell them swearing is wrong? Well, because it's a swear.
Is it a swear?
It is a swear. It is a swear, yeah.
Bloody
hell.
Really?
It's a very minor swear that most people don't care about anymore, as many swears tend to be. You know, crap is a swear, but, you know, people don't care so much. You know, it's the same category, just, you know, maybe a couple of generations
eventually,
back.
you know, curse words won't be curse words anymore. And there'll be
you know, a really interesting thing I looked into when I studied language was the creation of new curse words and how old some curse words are and how they sort of come in and out. It's really, really interesting. Like, you know, the big one that begins with C?
Yeah,
Okay, well, how old do you think that word is?
Australians use it all the time. It's not a curse word over there.
How old do you think that word is?
Probably.
Like, why is it so bad? Is it because it's a new word people aren't, like, acclimated to?
No, I think no. It's a very old word actually, and it means something totally different than what it's being used now. I can't remember what it was. It's not. The full word is something else. It's not, you know, 4 letters. It's a little bit more than that. I was actually.
There's an A on the end of it, and it was spelled with a K.
Yeah. I was reading. I'm reading Y, The Last Man. It's a comic book, and she actually explained it. There's a character in there that explains that word as well.
So apparently, originally, if you called someone an X, apparently it's calling someone, in the truest of sense of the original meaning of the word, a queen who invented writing and numerals.
Yeah.
apparently it was a very honourable word, and it sort of got bastardized over the years, and now it's like this terrible, terrible thing. It just goes to show, like, it could be any kind of inconspicuous word right now, that when you're on your deathbed, people, like, get really quiet in a room if it's been said. It's funny. But yeah, why are we talking about this? What was the question? Did we even get
something that you're bad at?
Oh yeah, it's your turn. It's your turn now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of one. This is so weird.
Just think about your morning routine.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking of, and I can't think of anything I was bad at. Unless my wife has a few.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Did that fly over your head?
No, I got it. I got it. So is that your answer?
Typing? I don't know. I don't know. I'll try to think.
That's
of
a
one
boring
during the
answer.
podcast. I'll try to think.
Okay. All right. So we'll just move on.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. The next question is from the Thruno, who says, "Hey Matt and WP, my question is, what do you think about underwater legendaries? Do you have one? If not, would you go for one?"
Underwater legendaries.
That's the way you spelled it. I don't know. What does that mean, dude? It's a bit confusing. A weird word. I guess we'll just skip that question. It's incomprehensible, right?
Yep. Absolutely. I would not go for a legendary. I would not go for a legendary that's underwater. I am sorry. There's just no way that's useful. I do not like the underwater combat. I'm a hipster.
I'll do one reason why I'd do it. Number one, because I don't want to go for an ascent. Okay, I got a few. I'm actually going to go for one. It's the last weapon I need for my Ellie, so it just feels right, you know? But the main thing is that aura stack trick. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for this aura stack trick. But you get cool auras underwater, right, with your legendary? So if you do the tonic thing where you stack your aura, you remember you saw that guy that was like a glowing ball of light?
Yeah.
So if you do that, then it's kind of cool, right? Because then you go on land, and not only do you have a cool aura that sticks about, you're underwater, even though you're above land, but it's also something not many people have ever really seen. So I'll go for that reason. There's not enough underwater content. And maybe in the future they'll add some more. The spear's cool. Have you seen the spear? Do you know what it does?
Is the spear the one that does the shark when you get a crit?
Yeah. That's cool, right?
Yeah, it is. I saw this video where the shark kept coming up over and over and over again because all the crits.
The Warrior 2 or 5 is crazy. Oh, wait, or is it the 3? Anyway, they got like 2 attacks. One goes like, and the other one goes, and there's sharks going,
amazing.
Every time it happens. It's good. So yeah, that's the only reason I'll go for one. But, you know, here's a question that might make it a bit more interesting discussion. Do you think ArenaNet should have put them in the game?
What, legendary underwaters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we might not like it, but other people do. And that's
what if I told you, you know how there's Eternity?
Yeah.
What if I told you that if they didn't do the underwater legendaries, there would have been like a version of Eternity but for swords and for focuses?
I would say then forget the underwater people then.
So you take that imbalance, you would take that? You'd be like, just more weapons that I care about instead of, you know, like a full set?
No, I think the full set is better for the overall game, I think. So, yeah. I mean, and they're cool. They're not like they're not cool. It's just I don't.
When do you use them?
I'm not spending all that time for that.
Underwater as well. Like the skill effects are crazy underwater, don't you think? And just your screen's already kind of wavy and weird and tinted a certain color, and you probably want to zoom out a lot anyway. And everyone's swimming with these annoying animations that are making them move constantly. Like you can't appreciate one. You just can't. There's some weird bugs where you can get your underwater weapons on land. You can't use the skills, but you can run around with them equipped. And I wonder whether maybe, but you know, when you're relying on bugs, what's the point? The only other thing is they're cheap, so there you go. Alright, the next question is from Nick Hart, who says, rubbish dinosaurs. Matt, I'm new to your channel. Welcome to the club. You mentioned that you lost a bunch of weight. How did you manage it? I only ask because we're both gamers and your perspective means more to me than a non-gamer. I saw this question. I think that was a really cool thing for him to ask. Because it's true, right? Like, a lot of the time you're reading about weight loss.
Yeah.
I would guess it's like Or just do I don't know. You know, it's not for gamers.
It's not. It really isn't. When you see people who, and I know he's talking about, you play games a lot during the day, right? Or you have a job and then you come home and you play some games. Whether if you're living by yourself, or, or you got a little honey on the side. But you're doing a lot of sitting down during the day, or so. What you have to do is really start first, because you can't just wake up one morning and says, I'm going to eat healthy. It don't work that way. And some people can do it, but it takes some while. So don't get discouraged when you start going back to your older ways. Just slowly start cutting stuff away from what you eat on a daily basis. Drinking sodas, eliminate it. Juices, eliminate it. Just drink water.
What if he wants quick results instantly?
No, that doesn't work.
What do you mean?
It took me 2 years to lose the amount of weight I did.
Why didn't you just starve yourself?
No, you're just gonna gain it all back. That's not the way your body works. Like you gotta slowly get through. I mean, you could get some really fast results if you're doing everything perfectly. Let me explain something. Everybody's different. Every single body. All right, people lose weight in different ways. Some people will stop eating sweets, and all of a sudden they just drop weight like nothing. All right, the thing you got to know is how much calories are you intaking, and how many calories are you burning during the day. If you're sitting down a lot,
too, by the way.
Yeah, beers and stuff. Yeah, if you're sitting down a lot, that means you're not really burning many calories. You can use like stand-up desks and stuff like that. But yeah, who wants to stand up and play games? So I would say try to take away bad stuff like pizzas. Don't use wooden potatoes as a role model here for eating.
Look, you can eat whatever you want as long as you wish it enough. You'll stay thin.
Mm-hmm.
Wooden potatoes guarantee.
If you're having problems with portion control, there's a lot of different diets that you can try with portion control. Like, because it all matters about your calorie intake for you to lose weight. All right. So there's something called intermittent fasting, where basically you don't eat, for 16 hours every day. So that counts when you're sleeping. So from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. you eat everything that you eat all your calories through that 8 hour period, and you just don't eat anything else. You don't eat anything at night or anything like that. And people tend to lose weight using that because they're intaking a lot of less calories. And you know that after 8 p.m. you're just not going to eat, and before 12 p.m. you're not going to eat. So, there's multiple ways, there's multiple diets for each person, because every person has their own issues. Some people really like to do this or eat tacos or a bread problem. And bread, stay away from it. If you want something real quick, I don't want to spend too long on this. Try look up paleo. That's a good one. And you don't have to be strictly what they're saying. Basically it's vegetables, meats, and fruits. But, you can have a little bit of dairy or whatever. It depends. It depends on what you want. But I would try to stay away from processed foods, I would say, and just eliminate the carbs. Lots of bread, you're not going to lose weight with eating all that bread. A lot of bread. I'm talking about you just have one little sandwich in the morning. But a lot of bread, that's unhealthy for you.
Can I
stay away from that? Yeah.
Can I offer some advice?
Now. Yeah.
I just have 2 words for any gamer hoping to lose weight. Yoga ball.
Yeah.
Just get rid of your chair. Yoga ball it up all day, every day. Strengthen your core and lose a lot of weight. There you go. And all you're doing is sitting.
Yeah. For exercising, if you haven't exercised ever in your life, man, you just start slow, man, and get in there. There's a lot of exercise. There's a lot of exercise plans. I should try to get one for you. But there's a lot of exercise, and that's why mostly people hire a personal trainer, because it's a lot easier to have someone there to motivate you. People really want someone else there. I would say get with a friend and start exercising together, and follow routine and every day, and do some work on something different. Lots of cardio. You don't have to do it for 3 hours. Just get some cardio in there, especially if you're sitting down a lot. But slowly work up in there. But I would say the first thing you got to start with is what you're putting inside of your body. You have to start with that. You have to eliminate the bad stuff. Anyways, we're not gonna talk for too long about this, but hopefully you got some information that you can use. All right.
Okay. The next question is from Sneaky Grizzly.
Falling asleep there, huh?
No. I was listening. I just didn't want to interrupt or anything, because whatever I try and add, dude, I'm a guy that is complete opposite of you. I've been sat on my ass doing nothing, slowly gaining weight the past 2 years of my life. Like, I'm not the role model here. This is
all the fat
your...
jokes I'm gonna have to take back then.
Dude, this food log might be really eye-opening, and I'm kind of scared of it. I'm kind of scared. Maybe yeah. All right. Anyway, so Sneaky Grizzly says, anyways, question for Matt Casual and God. God being me because of the name I tried to choose before, and also because I'm awesome. Do you feel in some way partially tied to Guild Wars 2 because of your channels? And do you think the size of your channels really depends on the size of the games you're focusing on? I'm not a blind idiot trying to get you to say that the game is dead. I'm just curious.
All right, so...
We talk about this a lot. Shall we just say?
Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about some serious stuff, guys. It might be hard to hear. All right, so let's choose our words carefully. Yes, I feel some type of way that my channel is tied to Guild Wars 2. Reason why is because I do a lot of good stuff that aren't Guild Wars 2, like the reviews is a good example. Those won't get a lot of views because mostly people only watch Guild Wars 2. Now I do and the size of the channel definitely is with the size of the game. Because Guild Wars 2 is not as popular, right? It's, I wouldn't say it's niche, but it's small, relatively small. And people who, there's a lot of people who come in and out of the game. They don't want to subscribe to a YouTuber who only talks about Guild Wars 2. So, or not only talks about Guild Wars 2, or is just doing Guild Wars 2 content because, they're salty about the game. A lot of people are salty about Guild Wars 2. So that ends up happening, so being tied to one game is suicide when it comes down to a career in YouTube or whatever you want to call it, a job, a hobby, whatever. It's suicide because once that game dies or people who are watching you lose interest, they unsubscribe or they just don't unsubscribe and they just don't watch your videos. So that's why you would see the number of subscribers and the number of views for each video are varied.
Yeah, they're very different. Yeah, well, I was going to say, my channel is a good example of that. I got over 60,000 subs. I don't get 60,000 regular clicks, and it's because a lot of those people were people who were watching me and Guild Wars 2 and interested in it 2 years ago. And people don't like burning bridges. I really do believe that. People don't like burning bridges. So when they're not interested in Guild Wars 2, when they're not playing it that much, they don't think, right, it's time to get rid of everyone on YouTube that I'm sub to. They'll just sort of leave it there in the thought that maybe one day they'll come back. But, they're not really interested in watching anymore. So that's why you have that big like change.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I guess that's pretty much it. In a perfect world. Yeah,
good. I was going to say the point I think you were sort of getting around to, and you mentioned it earlier on, is that if you spend ages, like a really long time on a visual review or something, and then it doesn't do as well as Guild Wars 2, where you just sat down for a couple of minutes and did whatever just because a patch came out. That's that's going to wear on you on some level, isn't it? You're going to think, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, so. Exactly, and it's the
so
same
definitely
thing when you're doing it's the same thing when you put your all into one Guild Wars 2 video, and then the only audience that this great video that you've done is going to see is only a Guild Wars 2 audience, and the Guild Wars 2 audience is extremely small compared to a lot of audiences out there.
Yeah, newer games that are coming out, double, triple, quadruple the size of it. Other games that like massive AAAs. Anyone can go and poop something out on League of Legends, for example, and they'll be fine because there's a huge audience there. So it's stuff that you can't ignore. That kind of stuff. You just have to see what you want the most, and what you enjoy.
And I'm not saying anything bad about the Guilders 2 guys who are subscribed to us. It's just no hard feelings. It's just the more valuable people are the people who would just watch everything, not just Guild Wars 2 content. Because, all right, I was talking about this on the stream because another Guild Wars 2 YouTuber and streamer, Sir Kuroshi is his name.
I've heard that
he's
name,
a thief. I think he's a thief. I think he played other characters, but I think he's a thief, and he's done thief guides and stuff like that. He's a streamer as well, and people were saying like, oh, he's gone to WildStar or whatever. We put so much, spend so much time on Guild Wars 2 and whatever. And he's just gonna leave everyone behind. You gotta understand, like, we're people too. Like, no one care. No one's. When you stop playing Guild Wars 2 for a month or something like that, I'm talking about random person who has no ties to the internet. You're totally fine with it. You're totally fine with it. No one's going to, no one's saying, "Oh, you stopped playing Guild Wars 2" or blah blah blah. You're fine. And you're fine with your choice of not playing Guild Wars 2, but you will still watch this person who plays Guild Wars 2. But then as soon as like a YouTuber who is a Guild Wars 2, mostly Guild Wars 2, stops playing Guild Wars 2, it's like this big thing, It's this big thing, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't understand why this person would lose interest in the game that he's been playing for 2 years. And
that just sounds crazy when you hear it straight away.
Yeah, it does.
It's weird.
It's weird.
How can you lose interest in a game you spent 2 years on?
Yeah,
well, wait, what?
Like, it happens all the time. That's why, I mean, building. I think I love Guild Wars 2, but like, I'm not a mono gamer, so sometimes it's really hard for me to be like, okay, I have to spend a little bit more time. I have to not play The Witcher 2 or whatever game that comes out, and Witcher 2 has been on my backlog forever. For example, I cannot play that because I have to play Guild Wars 2 to create content that is really good, for the channel and stuff like that and blah blah. Instead of like, oh, I'm playing Witcher 2, I could do a review on it when I'm finished with it, or I can do a funny little clips video, or blah blah blah, or like that's just an example. Because of my audience is just only Guild Wars 2, I don't have the freedom to do that, and plus my channel kind of suffers from it, and you end up not growing as well. Your channel ends up not growing, and it kind of stays in its state of just Guild Wars 2 when there's so much more. There's people who have come out of WoW. Can you imagine if Total Biscuit always played WoW? Can you imagine if Jesse Cox only played WoW and was still playing WoW to this day? Can you imagine if Swifty he does only play WoW, and what happens? He's just stuck in his little hole, like he would never get out of that, and eventually he might die off. His views have gone down, and that's just how it is, and World of Warcraft is a different case because World of Warcraft is a huge game.
But it's fundamentally the same, though, right?
Yeah.
He's tied to one game. If that game goes down, he goes down with it.
Yep. He surely does. He surely does.
So one specific question Sneaky Grizzly asks here is, do you think the size of your channel depends on the size of the game you are focusing on? What do you think about that?
Yes.
Absolutely. Irrefutably, yes.
If you're in one game, if you're doing one game, yes. If you're doing multiple games, no. Because people would come to your channel just to watch you regardless of what you're playing. That's why PewDiePie gets a million views on each video no matter what he's playing. He could play a corny little Flash game and it will get 1 million views because people are coming for him, not because of the game. And there's different cases for that. But the size of the channel, he might have grown on scary games, but he does anything now. And if he only played scary games, he probably won't be as big as he was now. Because scary games get tiring after a while. Markiplier grew off of scary games as well. Now he just does whatever. people grow off of games and they kind of move on. So when people get a little bit irritated, it's a little bit weird, you know. And Sir Kuroshi was just like, I love WildStar. You know, that's just it. You know, I've been. He says he. Oh, I should probably say. Well, he said this in the chat, so it's fine. He's like, I've been tired of Guild Wars 2 since the 6th month when it was launched. You know, like, but he still played it because there was nothing else, and now that there's WildStar, he's kind of leaning towards WildStar. You know.
Yeah, and it's only natural. Like, basically, what that guy is doing is what many people do. It's just the ones that are still having fun don't understand it, and I think. You know, they're just typing out very quickly on the internet. Oh, you know, it's something they don't. I think if anyone really takes the time to stop and think about it, they can understand why someone would move from one game to another. Surely. I'd hope so.
I would hope so.
If you can't, then this entire conversation we've just had is going to be lost on you at the same time.
Whew,
I don't
right
think.
Over the head.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's got like a convincing like counter argument, like. I'd love to hear it, like, because there's never any more discussion than what we've said, because there isn't that much more to say. Maybe
that someone subscribes just for only that content and they only care about that content. If you're not producing that content, then what they subscribe to is
a good reason for the YouTuber to only ever cater to them. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, it depends on what the YouTuber is. I mean, if that. It depends, and it's free. The subscribing is free.
Yeah, that's another thing as well, like people. But, I mean, my philosophy with this is, and I've told Matt this a lot of times, just before we recorded, we were sort of talking about it-ish. My philosophy is you just, as a YouTuber, for me, at least, I just want to make videos about the games I'm interested in and playing at the moment. So, recently, I've been really on a big nostalgia kick for Final Fantasy X. I'm doing an LP of it. I'm a complete monogamer. I'm in a much more comfortable position than Matt because I am a monogamer. I'm happy to, you know, stick about forever on Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
So I've been not that I will be forever playing Guild Wars 2, but I'm happy to just since that's my game, I'm playing that, making content about that. And if there's ever a day where like there's another MMO or another thing I'm super into, then I'll talk about that one too. And I think maybe it's sad, but you got to brush off people that don't there's no room for maneuvering with them. You just got to brush them off and pay them no mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you want to go on to the next question?
Whew, yeah, that was a doozy right there.
A doozy, and we've only got one left, so this had better be a good one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This. Okay, right. This one is from Kaida G, who says, "Hi, Mr. Visual. Hi, Mr. Tatoes. My question is, what's your dream ending to GW2's story? What would you like to see in the last Living World episode / the last expansion? Crazy plot twist allowed."
Oh, boy.
I would like to find that this universe is the same universe. So I watched a really good movie recently, and it's like about angels. Well, not angels. They're technically like statues, gargoyles, and it's against demons. And I would love to find that one of the characters from that show, like he's this dead guy, and he's like been pieced together by lots of other people and jolted with electricity to make him come to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to just like have a meteor land on Tyria and just blow up somewhere. And then as the dust settles in the crater, we realise he's actually landed on Morgemoth's head. And then he stands up and he says, "I still meet you." And it's actually voice acted by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then he says, "I am the protector of the weak. I am the protector of the damned. I, Frankenstein." And then it all goes black and the credits roll. I think that would be so good, man. What would like as a conclusion to season 2?
Oh, I think that would be amazing.
Like, I can't think of a better way to end your movie or game.
Me
saying the title.
Neither.
It should end by saying Guild Wars 2. There you go. That's actually something fairly cool that they could do. They could set up that some kind of Guild War situation returns. And then it ends by saying,
"What if
they thought the danger was over, but it had only just begun. These were the Guild Wars
2.
2." And then it just cuts.
Like it just tacked on it again, like a very big pause to 2. And a little bit of stutter. What could happen is they could patch up Scarlet, reanimate her, and she can be like Frankenstein. So Scarlet Frankenstein, dude.
No, Matt, Scarlet sucks. All right.
And then she
Let's
can
not
come
be
back
outlandish.
Like, "Don't you guys love me?" Yeah. So it'd be good.
No, that wouldn't be good. Nobody likes Scarlet.
You thought you
Where
could just
have you
kill
been?
me off? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think. Oh my god, no, we're not ending.
We're
a
not
podcast
ending
with
our
voices again.
podcast like that again.
No.
Oh goodness. Oh, so many.
Do you think
so many
I'm good
people
at that
offended.
voice, by the way?
Absolutely.
No, I seriously. Do you think I'm good at that voice?
I can't remember. I have to listen to it over again. I'm pretty sure you
Hey,
are.
Matt, do you think I'm very good at the voice?
You sound like a white girl.
Yeah, see? So you think
Not
I'm good?
all white girls. I'm just saying those
Just
white
the
girls.
airheaded ones. I can't pretend to be an intelligent sound. Okay, if I went onto like a chat room and pretended to be a girl, and then I like Skyped someone with it, do you think I could get some illicit pictures because they think I was a girl?
Oh, so you think they'll send you pictures of their sausage?
Sausage. Yeah.
Sausage.
Get some cocktails going in this hard drive. What do you think?
Woo wee. Probably.
Wow.
Hey guys.
I think you do
how
your
doing?
good
I'm
voice as
twirling
well.
my hair right now. And I'm like, oh man.
So I
you
noticed
sound
in your new
sexy.
video you shaved and you cut your hair as well.
Yeah, I did. I'm no longer a homeless person, as people pointed out. In the
Even I pointed that out to you, didn't I? Not in a mean way, but I was like, oh, you've not shaved. What's that?
Yeah, people are like, oh my gosh, you look like a terrorist, Matt. And I'm like, okay, this is getting a little bit too out of hand. And I was supposed to do this big thing where my wife like cuts my hair while I'm sleeping, but I end up not doing it. But yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I do. I have so many jokes and stuff that I want to do, but like I feel like I can't make pointless videos because I made a pointless video the other day and people were like upset. So I was just like, all right.
Really? What was your pointless video the other day?
This waiting for season 2. It was more, I don't know. It was just me just playing around, saying stupid stuff. You know, just for a laugh. You know. You know. I think I might make another pointless video just for fun to see how people were like, no, Matt, you have to be serious. You have to talk about stuff in Guild Wars 2.
It's mostly just people saying, "Oh, I'm playing WildStar now."
Yeah. So many people are playing WildStar, man. So many people are playing WildStar, but it's not the majority of my sub base. So that's
Matt, you look like a goddamn terrorist. Smiley face.
yeah. The smiley face is always what redeems it.
That was the one with the tongue out. I never really understood what that was for a long time. Did I tell you this, by the way? How you can tell if there's an old person on the internet? It's because they do smiley faces like this. Oh, no, Skype turned it into a real smiley face. God damn it, Skype. There, they do the little nose with the dash in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that's an old person on the internet. Because those were the classic emoticons.
And now we just make everything shorter. Just like Twitter. Everything's just like short messages.
Soon it will just be a colon. And it's up to you to interpret my mood.
Right.
So how would you flirt with people over the internet? You say something suggestive and then just put a colon there, and they take it however they like. You know, maybe you're happy, maybe you're sad, maybe you're playful.
Maybe you're evil, and that'll be in the territory of ooh.
Oh, is this the evil one, by the way? How the hell does that work? Is that the evil one? Oh, it didn't work. Never mind.
Yeah, it's
no, we can't
like
talk. Yeah. Okay. All right.
We're talking about stuff that people can't see. Anyways,
quality broadcasting.
Anyways, I would like Guild Wars 2, like seriously, to end with like all the dragons just coming out and being awaked and killing everybody. And that would be it. The end. No, not killing everybody, but like just the world being really messed up. You know, towns were being destroyed. I would like to be on a different continent entirely because we haven't explored the whole planet yet, which is kind of weird. I would like to add some sci-fi to it. I would like to know how the humans got there. I would like a conclusion to all those ties and all those lore that we just don't know what happened in the 2,000 years in the span of Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. I'd like to see all that, and I don't know, like that would be pretty cool. And have this last boss fight
I think
be like a
they need to
1v1 with like a really cool boss fight with 1v1 where it has all skills and telegraphs all over. Ooh, I said telegraph. That's the bad word here. That's the bad word. Goodness.
Well, no, they've been doing the orange telegraphs now. I think they use that. That's fine.
Yeah, they don't use
but
it.
Don't you think? They have with new content, dude. They have. What do you think?
World bosses? I don't do that stuff, man.
Don't you think that? Well, even the guys in the arenas had all of those new telegraphs as well. They were all 1v1 fights. Don't you think that they need to leave some mystery in the universe?
Some, just not every dang thing.
Well, I agree. I'm just kind of jaded by that. I feel like on some level I should feel bad that my answer to this question was just a stupid joke and I don't really have a real answer. But I'm past that point, and I'm like the law guy. I'm like past that point now. I'm like, I don't know. None of what you just said interests me that much. Destroying stuff? Who cares? Lion's Arch got destroyed. It wasn't that great, was it? Really?
It wasn't. It really wasn't. It was great.
I mean, I just want to go to new
continents. It was great in the
stuff.
beginning, and then it just kind of went back. It just reminded me of the lion statue getting destroyed, and it's putting it back together. I don't know. Like I want the story to be good. That sounds so bad. It sounds so bad, but it's true. I just want the story to be good.
They're so far away from the good plots they had in the first game that they set up and good mysteries that they did, and so far from ever looking like they're going to resolve them, even try to, let alone in a satisfactory way. I am just long for that.
I think the conclusion, if there were to be a conclusion, we're talking about this in the past podcast about if the dragons are destroyed, magic is going to be unleashed or disappear from the world, and it holds the world together, and the world is destroyed and stuff like that. I would like to see some type of story wrapped around that for the ending. What will happen? Oh, no one knows the mystery of destroying the last dragon. And the last expansion will be The Last Dragon. Guild Wars 2.
That's the thing as well, like, the end. But I think that's something that actually cripples Guild Wars 2. What do we mean by the end? They're trying to be timeless. They're trying to just be an MMO. They don't want to make Guild Wars 3 or anything.
Yeah, but this is a question not to be taken seriously, though. This is not something that will happen. MMOs don't end. They just don't end.
Well, Guild Wars 1 ended because they went for a sequel.
Right. So you think Guild Wars 3 might come out? Or they might just...
Well, no, I don't. And that's why I think it's a weird question. I think that the deeper point I'm trying to make here is that because it's an MMO without an end in sight, that has somehow crippled their ability to tell a good story. Because there is no speculating about the end. There is no speculating about the end goal. Just cool things that might happen in the future. And maybe that lack of a solid narrative arc is what kills it for some people on some level, on some conceptual level that works its way down through the design of the personal story and the living world. That's one of the reasons why we're not really very interested in it. Because it's going to move so slow, and even when it gets to something good, it's just going to be another cog in something else. And I don't know. I can buy into that philosophy a little. But yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's the last question.
So that was the last question. I did the bell, but I'll do a little bit more because I know you guys love Antler.
So did you ever put? You did show me an image of Antler before, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why don't I remember what it looked like anymore?
Did I show you, or I showed it?
I remember saying, "Oh my god, I thought." Did you?
Oh, I did. I did show you a picture. I think I did show you a picture. Maybe I did.
Yeah, and I remember my response to it, but not what it looked like. I remember saying to you that it didn't look anything like I imagined, and now I wonder if what I imagine it to look like is the correct version or the original incorrect version I've somehow reset to.
You probably reset it. I probably never showed you. I probably explained what it was off VisualWood, and you're like, oh wow, it didn't look exactly what I thought it was. But anyways, anything else? Leave us a like on SoundCloud.
Oh yeah, go for it.
And iTunes reviews, so you can get featured on the podcast. Stuff like that. Stuff like that. Shameless promotion. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We will see you next week.
Yeah, very much so. I'm sweating my boobies off right now.
Me too, dude.
It's so hot, and I can't have this fan on while we're recording. It's so hot. So humid. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to shower, actually. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shower.
Relax.
It's going to be cold and refreshing. And I'm going to have, fruity shampoo in my hair. I'm going to wave it through. Oh, it's going to be great. Come out smelling like a god.
Relax has no pants?
Oh, yeah. Look has no pants.